To my drunk or you're doing drugs. When you're drunk, when you're drunk, when you're drunk, when you're drunk, when you're drunk or you're doing drugs. 7, 8, feeling brave, but you never really play this game. 9, 10, feels like heaven, you're crying cause you wanna stay. Quick fix, found in bliss when you feel the heartbeat inside. When you're drunk, 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 when you're drunk. Do you believe in magic? Do you believe in magic? When you're drunk, 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 when you're drunk. Me too, I'm just like you, and I need to fuck it up sometime. I'm stuck with ego trips, selling sex to a mother will buy. Sometimes I feel magic, but I manage to fuck up somehow. Get drunk, get drunk, get drunk, get drunk, and I'm getting high. Do you believe in magic? Me too, I'm just like you, and I need to fuck it up sometime. I'm stuck with ego trips, selling sex to a mother will buy. Sometimes I feel magic, then I'm slip, selling sex to whomever will buy. Sometimes I feel magic that I manage to fuck up somehow. Getting drunk, getting drunk, getting drunk. Do you believe in magic? Do you believe in magic? Do you believe in magic? looking like a thunderstorm. Oh, here we go, 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 go. You're easy to remember, so hard to forget. Baby, it's a coward way you strut. How could I not worship every inch your feet have touched? Baby, run away with me. You kill it lonely. You make my eyes unsee all the crazy. You make my heart believe there's only one of you, baby. Run away with me. Don't leave me lonely. You make my eyes unsee all the crazy. You make my heart believe. There's no more clouds on the freeway. Now tell me you'll stay. Gonna now and last someday. Here we go, go, go. Rose bed, fancy hotels, girl, you know. Baby, run away with me. You kill it lonely. You make my eyes unsee all the crazy. You make my heart believe there's only one of you, baby. Run away with me. Don't leave me lonely. You make my eyes unsee all the crazy. You make my heart believe. And we'll stay in bed all day. Make love in every way. Baby, run away with me. You kill it lonely. You make my eyes unsee all the crazy. You make my heart believe. Oh, baby, run away with me. Don't leave me lonely. You make my eyes unsee all the crazy. You make my heart believe. You make my heart believe.
Target acquired.
Eagle 1, first strike. You have permission to engage the target.
Warning: the following video contains explicit language which may be offensive to some viewers or inappropriate for children. The content within this video is intended for mature audiences only.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the show. I seem to have echo right now, so let's go ahead and fix that. That should do that. There we go. Perfect. Good evening, one and all. Good evening. It's going to be a great show tonight. It is a trash talk extravaganza tonight. I've got a lot of trash to talk. It's been a minute since we've all been together. Last night, but no. Last Saturday we didn't get to do a trash talk extravaganza, and we got a lot. We have a lot. We have a lot there. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. I got my buddy Eugene is already backstage. He's gonna come up shortly. In the meantime, I am going to go through and see all the lovely people in the chat tonight. Welcome to the show. Damien, PKRFX is in the house tonight. He is a parkour person and has a great channel. He will tell you that parkour solves all problems. I'm not sure that's true, but it's worth a shot. We have Anson Knowles coming in. We'll get him up on stage later for sure. He's been feisty since he's not had his beard on. Tats 0577, good evening. I haven't seen you in the chat before, but good to see you in the chat. Naomi in the house, not used to seeing you here. Good to see you. Zach Diecast Mansour, good to see you. I think you've been back. Wicked Wally, definitely got to get him up. We've got a lot of trash to talk, he and I. Mr. Boulay in the Department of Numismatics is in the house. Silvar Ogre is in the house. Demolished Doctrine Richard Madsen is in the house. Peace and respect, sir. Good to see you in the house, and you're welcome. You're welcome to be here. I enjoy when Richard is around. He can be confounding, but he is logic-based, and that is great. Lindsay Smith in the house. Good to see you. Don't always get to see you in the chat. Stephen Akari is in the house. 13 has made it in the house. Good to see you as well. Mikey Balls is in the house. Let's go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, as always, I must remind you the grift must flow. It must flow. The grift has been kind of weak this week, and I didn't have very much grift last week. So we got to make up for it if we can. If you can't, that's fine too. We will talk if you're here to talk about or to hear me talk about the great DebateCon 6. We will talk about it. I don't know how far we're going to go down the rabbit hole on that, but we are going to talk about it. In round terms, guys, and I got a whole thing on that later. Arthur Daya has made it back, cleaning the kitchen as a proper woman should be, and good to see you. Anson, she's in the kitchen. There you go, buddy. All right. I'm going to go ahead and bring my buddy Eugene up. He is in the back. There we go. And there he is, winner that he is. Look at that beard. Look at it. Look at the beard. It's great. How the hell are you, Eugene?
Exhausted.
Exhausted? All right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, there's nothing wrong with that. Mikey Balls sends in right out of the gate. $5 American. Make DebateCon great again. Yeah, we're going to do that. I don't know that it's ever been great, but we are going to make it great. There's no other choice. It's going to be great. I am now involved, and therefore it will be epic. And there we go. So how you been, Eugene? Been a minute since we talked. How's everything in your life? Well, yes. Stand by 1 second. This is going to. You can't hear it, but the chat can hear.
Donated $10. Super chat.
Very lovely.
This is twice what I gave that other stream.
This is what we get here, and you can't hear it because you're not on YouTube right now. But it's a very lovely English lady voice, and I will repeat it: $10 from Silvar Ogre. This is twice what I gave that other stream. Well, I appreciate every dollar, sir. Thank you very much. Silvar Ogre is the man, the myth, the legend, and a true gentleman, as always. Good to see you, as always, in the chat, Silvar Ogre. Good to see everybody. Good to see everyone.
You're looking good.
So, all right. So, what have you been up to, man? How's the life?
Up and down.
Yeah.
Bit of a down lately, but
Well, I saw you went on a great hunting trip with your dad.
With my brother. My dad was supposed to be there, but
I thought it was your dad. Okay.
he was supposed to come back from his trip in Ukraine, and that got delayed. So he didn't make the hunt, unfortunately.
Well, it looked epic, regardless.
It was a good time for sure.
Yeah. What? So, are you still gainfully employed?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I asked because a lot of the companies that do what you do are not doing as well as they were. Who are we trash talking about tonight? Well, once we get Wicked Wally up here, once he gets off his hands, and maybe I don't know, maybe it's probably some alcohol involved there. We're really gonna talk about some good stuff. Right now, we're gonna talk to my buddy Eugene, who has not been on the panel in quite a while, on the show in quite a while. For those of you who don't know, Eugene and I have known each other for probably 15 or more years.
Yeah.
And it all started when he was a young lad doing performance cars. As a matter of fact, there for a little while, I think he was trying to make a job of it. And he actually did pretty well. And
debatable.
Yeah, debatable. I'm trying to be kind. I tuned his Supra once, and I think he thought I was an idiot. And then he had Justin Ninny look at it, and Ninny said I was not an idiot, and that was good. So, but he's a self-taught welder, self-taught machinist, does CNC design and programming at a fairly high level, to be honest with you. Yeah, he's a good guy. Just about 8 months ago, you got out of a pretty weird relationship. 8 months. Yeah. Okay. And since then he's been working out. Dude's a beast. Lives in Michigan, which he was originally from California, or originally from Ukraine, but he's been in California so long, I think he forgot what snow looked like. And I think it hurt his feelings that first winter. But yeah, he's doing really well. And he reached out. He's got some downtime and wanted to come on, hang out on the show. So that's what we're doing. We are trash talking now. We're going to trash talk a lot of stuff. But first, I wanted to just kind of catch up with my buddy Eugene. You beast in chat, calm down. We'll get to you. I promise. We'll feed you the blood. The blood will flow. Not yet. All right. So you're still with the same company then?
Yeah.
All right. Cool.
Yeah. Seems to be going all right.
And
despite our CEO's efforts to sabotage everyone.
Right. Yeah, that seems to be a common thread here lately, is CEOs not really doing their job much. Yeah. Are you now you were getting set up to do machining basically on your property. You were setting up a building to do your machine work, getting a 5-axis and maybe a 4-axis or something along those lines to do your own stuff.
Yeah, I'm basically right now I'm in the middle of a whole bunch of foundational work. and I'm not talking about like a foundation.
Yeah.
Since my property only has single phase power, um, instead of paying the power company, tens of thousands of dollars, I decided to buy a bunch of solar panels and inverters, and I have a shit ton of batteries, and gonna basically set up my own power plant to run my shop. So I've been clearing out a patch of land. There's a bunch of trees.
Yeah.
Getting it ready to install the solar panels as soon as the snow lets up a little bit.
So the last time I actually talked to you, you had a couple of contracts that you were doing, making billet cool stuff for, I would assume, relatively high-end shops.
Yeah, there are parts that went on military helicopters.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. So I got to ask you, Eugene, because we talked a little bit earlier tonight about how you would get started in business. Just 1 second. Can we get a mod to give Wally and Arthrodaya the links to come up? Arthrodaya, you do not have to come up now. I know that you're in the kitchen, and I do not want to interfere with your quality time. But if you would not mind terribly, at some point we'll get Arthrodaya up here. I just want them to be ready and staged, so that we're ready. Richard Madsen would like to know, Eugene, if you have ever heard of a phase generating transformer.
Phase generating? You're talking about phase converters?
I think that's a dig at the at something else, but it's okay. It's okay. So I know that you've tried a couple of times to start your own machine shop.
Yeah.
And I'm guessing, and I'm just going to guess here. You can tell me where I'm wrong. But my guess is that you're trying to pay mostly cash for it, maybe get a small loan, and just kind of brute force your way through this.
Trying, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So and this is not, so normally I do this during the day. You need to come on during the day when I do my business show, Mondays and Thursdays. We talk business.
Because I'm at work.
I know. Richard Madsen says no, and it is not a dig. It is a transformer at the property that generates a second or third phase. I actually have heard of that, Richard. Because my buddy had that in Reno from a single phase. Yeah, actually, that's a real thing. And they used to be really expensive, but now they've come down. They've come way down in price because of because people don't need that anymore. What's up, seriously, Shelby? Good to see you. Good to see you. So
the other reason behind not using the power from the grid is it's just ungodly expensive. Like just my house alone cost me about $300 a month. If I'm going to run a CNC machine, it'll be over $1,000 a month. And, I spent about 30, 40 grand on the solar system.
Mm-hmm.
I got a bunch of batteries from work for free. So I'll essentially be running on zero power cost once it's all up and running.
For at least a while. Yeah. All right. Well, let me I'm not going to get into that because I think I think that sounds really good. I'm waiting to see how that works in practice. But let's talk about the financing of the business. I don't normally do this at night, and I'm probably going to watch the viewer count tumble, which is already low because Andrew's over somewhere around clobbering people on the internet, and that's going to be something cool. But at the Lindsay is trolling.
I would pay to see you try to mow the lawn right now. There's about 6 inches of snow. In a bikini, nonetheless.
I'm fairly certain he doesn't want his ex back since she's like demonic and shit. But anyway, so let's talk business for a second, and then we'll get up and we'll start talking shit. You need to write a very good business plan. You need to show what you have been able to produce for other companies and yourself over the last probably 4 years, 5 years. And if you have to, pay someone to help you write a business plan and get an SBA loan. Now, if you get an SBA loan, it's going to be difficult, but you can do it. And I would probably, I would say that you're going to want for a machine shop, once depending on how much you're going to spend on equipment and your first probably 6 months of operating cost and probably and carrying costs. You're probably looking at you're going to need about $100,000 in cash, and you're going to want to go about $1 million in debt.
Why that much?
Because the biggest mistake people make when they go into business is being undercapitalized. What happens is you, and I know that you've experienced this already, you will go out and you will say you have $180,000 worth of work that you've done, and you invoice that. Right. And maybe they paid for the materials, but you still have your time. You may have an employee at some point. You're going to need employees because you're going to have to grow. But you do if you want to have an actual like business and not a hobby shop. So there's a difference between having a business and a hobby shop. I'm thinking business here. So if you put, so let's say you have $180,000 in operating cost per month, right? You're going to make maybe, I don't know. You're going to bill somewhere along in somewhere 4 or 5 million or so, right, in a year. And you're going to pocket. You're going to in your
that's
SDE.
A serious business.
No, that's small business, man.
I know shops that have been. I know machine shops that have been in business for over 10 years, and they're just barely doing
right. And I'm telling you why they're barely getting by.
Okay.
So if you have, let's say that you have work lined up for 6 months, but you invoice a guy and he takes 30 days to pay you. For that 30 days, you have no money coming in. So you barely get any work done because you're waiting on that $180,000 check to come in. And now you're flush with cash again. You pay all your employees, you pay the power bill, you buy the tooling, you buy the materials, and you're always robbing Peter to pay Paul, and you're always behind the curve, and you have to turn away work because you can't hire another guy to do it. You have to turn away work because you can't do the work. You don't have the capital. You're undercapitalized. For example, this company that I'm buying, it's doing about $6 million a year currently in sales. I think they did 8 million this year. I haven't looked at. I've looked at so many. I don't want to say. I don't want to give you a wrong number, but I think it's six. The company we're going to buy, it's about 6 million in total sales this year, and their average monthly cost in fuel bill, keeping the power on, keeping the trucks running, keeping the employees paid, keeping the insurance up, making sure everything gets paid on time, is about $250,000. So if you're billing more than that, right? But if you can't cover it, and you have to let your guys go home early because you can't, they can't work the overtime. They can't work, you can't afford to pay them for their full salary for 4 weeks, and you can't afford another crew or whatever. You would lose a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
Worse is that you accrue debt and interest. So you need to be able to make sure that you have enough capital, working capital, so that you never fall behind the curve. And the biggest mistake that most businesses make is being undercapitalized. Because when that job comes in and it's, and actually I watch you go through this a couple of times where you're like, I need X amount to get this product out the door and get paid my big paycheck. And now you're doing everything you can. You're maxing out your credit cards. You're doing whatever to pay it. And that's exactly what a lot of shops do. Now the nice thing about it, and we can talk more about this because I'm killing my chat right now, but the nice thing about it is an SBA is not a personal loan. It's a business loan.
Right.
So you are not on the hook personally for that money. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So now it takes time, it takes effort to get it. And like I said, you need about 10%. So if you're going to, some standard metric to avoid being undercapitalized. So demolish doctrine, I want to be to prevent being undercapitalized. I want at least 90 days of operating capital in the bank. That's me. Some people will have, 45 days. 45 days is scary as fuck, right? Because, especially in something like a machine shop where you're going to have a client come in and say, well, I need, however many of these widgets, I need them by this period of time. As soon as it's done, you send them out their final invoice. They have 30 days to pay it. And then they may be working with another contractor and that's on 45 days. So they take an extra 15 days to pay it. And now you're out, right? You don't have that money in your bank account. And all you can do is call and ask for it. And all they're going to do is say, well, we're waiting on the check to come in on our end. And you have to be really careful. I'm just telling you, I've always had that. I made the mistake myself many times. Many times. Don't do it. But if you're undercapitalized, it's very, very hard to grow. And we see it all the time. Remember Sam at Venom Defense and Design?
Yeah.
Totally undercapitalized.
Disappeared.
Huh?
He disappeared.
He did disappear because he was up until the day he shut down the website, he was still selling product because he had to care. He was trying to pay off all the bills he could, knowing that he would not be able to produce product for the orders he was taking. Don't do that. Don't be that guy, man. Don't be that guy. Be a real fucking business. Right? And I'm using one project, right? But if you could have 20 projects going on, right? I mean, you can't because you're one guy with two machines starting out, right? But if you're going to be more serious, you're going to end up having 6 machines and 3 or 4 guys, plus a couple material handlers, plus whatever else the fuck you need to make an actual machine shop that actually makes money.
That's several years down the road.
We always think it is, but you need to think about it from day one. You need to think about this is where I'm going to be, because what happens is just like Sam had the same plan you did or do. I'm going to buy a couple machines. I'm going to pay them off. I'm going to do some work. I'm going to do that, and then it's going to be great. I can make these pieces over here and they sell like hotcakes. And I've got people are willing to wait 30 days to get them and all this nonsense. But the problem is you always behind the time curve because you're always undercapitalized. And even when you do think you have enough capital, you may have enough capital to keep the doors open, but you don't have enough capital to get another machine, to get another whatever. That's exactly what your existing company is probably going through right now. They didn't make their last round of angel investing. They didn't get the funding that they were expecting. And then they had to, what did they do? They had laid off 100 people. And I'm just, you can do whatever you want, but and I'll help you however I can. But I'm just telling you the number one reason that I see that, you know, and I, when I started, I was a victim of this too. Now, so Silver Ogre, the amount of cushion, I'll answer this, and then, so Silver Ogre, that if you're going to start up, you need all of the whatever you're going to spend on your equipment, which is if you're financing it, if you're buying it outright. A lot of people like to buy equipment outright, or if you're leasing it, you know, whatever. You want to have, I want to have 90 days of operating cost, which is everything. Keep the lights on, keep fuel in the vehicles if we're delivering or whatever. If we, you know, to pay the salesman their draw, to pay, you know, whatever. Like I'm about to buy this epoxy company, right? And I think we are. We'll see. Doing epoxy floors, great numbers, fucking great numbers. But their margin is so thin that if they had 2 bad months, it would be almost impossible for them to cover their bills.
Why are you saying the numbers are so great if their margins are so thin?
Well, their numbers were great this past. Well, there's a couple of reasons. It was a partnership. One partner checked out of the company and went back to his previous business, and the other partner was carrying all of it. So they actually got rid of one crew. They had 3 crews. They laid off a crew. They had 2 salespeople. They laid off both of their salespeople, and basically it was one guy and 2 crews. And the guy has literally just been coasting all year, waiting to sell the company. So the numbers for this year are not great. But the past years they've been really good. So, what's up, Clover Tack?
Speaking of numbers, I'll give you a couple of numbers: 9 and 45, because that's what I was shooting today.
Yeah. 12 gauge. That's what we're shooting.
Man, I want to do some 12 gauge. I definitely need to. I've got a couple over unders I need to get out and play around with some more.
Yeah, what you got?
Oh, I don't have any grid level fucking over and unders, that's for sure.
Oh, come on.
Sorry. No.
Well, you got some like
most expensive one I got is a Spandau. And then I've got a
got a couple of Satoris leaning back over there.
No, man, I don't have anything like
a couple of
I cannot bring myself to break
couple
off
of Kriegoffs,
bro.
A couple of $12,000 Kriegoffs in the
love
back.
to have a Kriegoff or a Blazer. Yeah, Kriegoff or even a Blazer. Would love to. But holy fuck. No, I can't do that. You know how many more guns I can buy? Like really cool shit for that kind of money?
Right. There's the real investment right there.
That's my issue, dude. Like for real.
Yeah.
No, I got
Where the fuck is Wicked Wally? Is that dude eating again? Jesus. Fucking hell. Anyway, we'll talk more about it, Silvar Ogre. We'll talk about capitalization, and everything. Just really.
Well, that's at the first of every sentence, so it's real easy to explain capital.
There he is. I don't see no DM. I'll crawl up in them DMs. Where's my damn? I don't know where my Discord. I hit my Discord earlier, so I don't know where the fuck it's at. Not there. Somebody help Wicked Wally. One of the mods helped this poor guy. There we go. I got it. So,
yeah. So,
Eugene there is a shooter.
I'm actually going to check out a USPSA shoot tomorrow.
Sweet.
You ought to.
Yeah.
What part of the country?
Michigan.
Oh, fuck. Isn't it cold up there? Holy shit. They're doing.
It might be indoors.
They don't fuck around up there.
It should only be, I think 30 tomorrow, 32. So pretty good. Yeah, it's 35 tomorrow.
Yeah, not a problem. Only 30.
Pretty warm. Considering a week ago we were at like -5.
That a club? Is it like a club thing or?
It's USPSA.
Yeah,
It'll be a local club. Yeah,
probably. I don't know. I have never gone to a shoot since I moved to Michigan, so it's gonna be. I'm just gonna be learning and meeting people. One of my coworkers is going. Actually, my manager's at work is going. So
I thought you were the manager.
Huh?
I thought you were the manager.
Not really.
Not really. It's Wicked Wally, ladies and gentlemen. Look at that fine young man.
How we doing, gentlemen?
We're good. We're good. We're getting ready to seriously talk some shit. So.
Good.
Because I know you've got. Hey, did they even have a verbal combat last night?
No, and they're not having it tonight either. It got canceled again.
What the fuck? What kind of gay ass shit is that?
Illness, continuing family illness going on over there.
You know what? This seems like a growth opportunity, Wally.
I know. I've been going stir crazy for 2 weekends now. I haven't gotten to argue with anybody. I'm getting ornery.
Yeah? What do you want to debate?
I got unfinished business with my Irish brother in Christ, Teriak, there after Thursday morning grid.
Is Teriak? Oh, yeah. Yeah.
We got some unfinished business there, him and I.
Teriak? Somebody bring me the head of teriyaki, whatever the fuck. So, yeah, we'll have some blood sport debate one way or the other. So, seriously, Shelby needs to practice saving people from bleeding, so we need some more blood sport debating. What we need. So,
what was the unfinished business?
Anything on authorial intent in the Bible? Authorial intent in the Bible. Yeah, you got me on that one, pal. I don't know. I have to look that one up. Yeah, Mikey Balls has done enough bleeding for multiple lifetimes. If we're going to talk some trash, I want to talk some trash on Mikey Balls for a second. He's got the link. He can come up here and defend himself. Don't anybody feel sorry for his dumb ass. He comes in first fucking day in the chat. First fucking day. Don't know this guy from nobody. No, he literally has no rep at all. Hey, what's up, Kissy Cat? I see you out there. You should come up tonight too and stop hiding in the chat. So, Mikey Balls is like, I think he was drunk, and he hasn't copped to being drunk. I think he was drunk. So he sends me in the Discord. He goes to the Discord. I'm like, hey, go to the Discord. We'll give you the link and bring it up here. Bring it up here. He goes to Discord and he puts the picture of him laying on the concrete with his fucking leg gone and blood everywhere and shit, fucking pieces of meat all over the damn place. And I'm like, that's savage. That's a savage motherfucker right there. That's what I decided. I like this young man. This gentleman right here is just like, fuck all y'all. And my mods were like, is this TOS? And I'm like, probably not. We'll find out.
Right. Most likely not.
It was fucking awesome. He said he's fairly sober that night. Well, he did it sober. That's fucking amazing. Yeah, dude's just like, you know, he got hit by a car and had his on his motorcycle and had his leg taken off below the knee.
Oof.
And he's just sitting there on the fucking sidewalk with half his fucking leg gone, pieces of meat stringing out, fucking blood everywhere. Just posted the picture. No big deal.
That's rough.
That's an intro. That's an intro, motherfuckers. That's the fucking intro right there. After that, I was like, Mikey Balls is okay. I don't care what anybody else says about Mikey Balls. They can call him 4 different kinds of motherfucker, and he's still cool with me. Tell you what. That's a... Oh, man. Who the hell's talking to me?
You know, most people would probably see footage of someone missing a leg and be left absolutely stumped.
Well, they don't have a leg to stand on, and neither does he.
Oh, come on. Mikey's a real stand-up guy.
That's true. That's true. Finding the pigs right now, he's going to put them back. The moms were freaking out. They were literally like, hey, I think this guy's a fucking problem. I'm like, nah,
Hey,
he's all right.
you threw the gauntlet down, Grid. If he's got a problem, he can step up. Oh, wait.
He has a leg up on the competition. Yeah, it's carbon fiber, motherfucker. And the funny thing is like, I know, so one of the guys that regularly kicks my ass in shooting competitions is a guy named James Gill. Sergeant James Gill. That motherfucker's got one eye and one leg. He used to put a fucking glass eye in that said Leopold on it. Cloverjack gets that. He was sponsored by Leopold, so he literally had in his eye. Motherfucker had one eye, one leg, and he beat your ass. He won the fucking tactical games. The tactical, you know, where they carry all the heavy shit, shoot, carry more heavy shit, climb over 5 or 6 fences, carry some more heavy shit, shoot again, run for fucking ever. Yeah, he won that shit. One leg, or half of one, and one fucking eye. Like, that's fucking awesome. It's just crazy, you know?
Well,
And, yeah, I like that guy. He's pretty cool. He's a pretty cool dude. But anyway, now that I've talked enough shit on Mikey Balls, usually Mikey Balls will come up by now when I talk this much shit, but he's not rising to the bait. Anyway,
what do you think? Do you think he's going to come in here walking tall?
well, he might roll along. He might roll over us.
I mean, you already kneecapped his argument.
That's right.
I guess
That's
you're
funny.
not quite the master debater that you thought you were.
I'm taking the bait. Yeah. All right. So, yeah, I like Mikey Balls. He's a good guy. So, Wally, I know we've talked informally about this, but did you actually see the debate that Flow State and I had with Drunk Ass Bitch and Dumb Bitch? Known as, colloquially, Nina and Ghosty.
Oh, God, Nina.
Although I got to be honest, Ghosty is at least half-assed good faith most of the time. Like if she's being bad faith, it's just because she doesn't know any better, right? But she wants to argue properly and all of that. Nina was just drunk as fuck. I think the only reason Nina's ever had an actual debate is because boobs.
Yeah,
I think that's her entry.
My first encounter with Nina was when she came on the Crucible. She did a debate with Rachel.
Yes, and then Andrew. Yeah.
But her very first premiere debate, I think, was with Rachel, and it ended up with me making a super chat about how we've had 2 women waste 3 hours arguing back and forth when they could have been washing a man's socks. And then that turned hashtag Wally's socks into a Crucible joke for a while in chat a couple years ago.
Is she always drunk when she debates, or was it just me? Was it just?
Yeah, she's always got the wine mom energy. Always got it.
Gotcha. Okay. All right.
And what was funnier was because I kept bombarding that debate with so many dunking on feminist super chats, and then a month later I was on a panel with her when Rob Knorr was still hosting the arena on the Crucible. I think we were actually the first 2 people backstage too. So I'm like, with Rob, I'm like, well, this ain't awkward.
It's all good and good fun. Hey, Arthur Daya likes your shirt. You're appealing to the women. It really highlights the moobs. The moobs. There you go. Yeah. Arthur Dye will. I hear that she's pretty good at laundry. I don't know. So anyway, so
Nice to see there's a place somewhere in the country where socks aren't going unwashed.
Stiff sock crew. That's funny. That's funny.
I think it was the very last. I think it was the very last time I saw Ghosty debate. I've made it a point to try to avoid listening to her ever since because I just can't with the stupidity sometimes.
They just kept defaulting back to drug trafficking.
Yeah.
So after Nina pieced out for whatever stupid ass. Hey, it's Flow State. Flow State is in the house. The powdered Dusty is here. He can come up and talk shit as well. The funny thing is that the entire thing was drug trafficking, though, but drug trafficking. And then Ghosty, after the debate was technically over and we had guests up, all she could talk about was her going to her drug dealer, and taking people to meet the drug dealer, which, by the way, I don't know if you know this, that's the definition of trafficking. What? Anyway, do you know who Ross Albright is, Eugene?
Yes.
I do.
You do?
Yeah.
Did you think that the pardoning Mr. Albright by President Trump was justified? It's not tripping. You're good either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that his sentence was utterly ridiculous.
Utterly ridiculous.
The pardon may be debatable. Personally, I think he didn't do anything wrong. But
right, they never actually proved that he did anything wrong. Like, there was no proof that he did anything. There was no proof he drug trafficked. There was although an undercover FBI agent basically perjured themselves trying to get Albright to do so. Yes, Albright had operated the Silk Road, which was shockingly mostly used by the CIA to sell shit that they needed sold. And he operated it. They got him for drug trafficking, which he never actually trafficked any drugs. He never actually handled them. He would say it was like he would say, like, hey, if you're going to buy something on here, don't be stupid. If you're going to have to ship it, they have drug sniffing dogs. So if you're going to, ship something that smells illegal, wrap it up, vacuum pack it, whatever the fuck, And he would give advice about how one might accomplish such things, much like the people who give advice on how to build suppressors from oil cans and shit like that. There's nothing illegal about that. Right? Even if you do it. If I tell you, Eugene, you can go do this and this and this, and you'll end up with a suppressor, even if you did it, I'm not responsible for that.
Yeah.
Right? Like, anyway. I can't be charged. I can't be charged for that. I mean, I can be charged. I mean, it won't stick. You can be charged for fucking anything. I can be charged for having too big a dick, but I'm not saying it's happened or anything. Draw your own conclusions. So they charged him with that. They charged him with hacking only after he refused to confess and take a plea deal, so that they could basically go after a bunch of people on his website. And they convicted him of money laundering because they said he didn't pay taxes and he was avoiding taxes by dealing in cryptocurrency. Is a method of avoiding paying taxes. However, his company that operated Silk Road actually did pay taxes.
Well, didn't they seize like a shit ton of Bitcoin from him?
Oh, dude, it's way worse than just seizing it. Yes, they did seize a bunch, but they had 2 agents that they know of that were prosecuted and convicted and put in jail for stealing Bitcoin during the investigation that they know of. They also had at least one other, as I mentioned, one agent basically perjured himself trying to entrap Albright by trying to get him to perform, basically trying to talk him into actually trafficking drugs for him. And Albright's like, no, dude, no, not doing it.
Par for the course.
And the money laundering was, they basically said that even though he had paid the taxes through his business, because he had collected this Bitcoin but not cashed it out, that counted as income that he wasn't paying taxes on. That's literally like me walking over to Wally and give him $100,000 in cash. He puts it under his pillowcase and doesn't say anything about it for 10 years. And then he, eventually claims as it income, or, he does a smart thing and, pulls it out $50 at a time over the next, 10 years. But either way, it's not, you don't have to pay tax on it until it's fucking income, right, and you reported it, right? Like,
or I finance a car wash with it,
right, whatever you got to do to make it happen,
Yeah, you finance a car wash, nail salon, something that you can
cash heavy,
sanitize that money with, because
unrealized gains. Yeah, that's exactly what they were trying to. They basically got him for unrealized gains with no unrealized gains law being in effect. And so, and every time I would try and steer this stupid fucking cunt back to the actual debate prompt, they would literally talk over me and then return right back to drug trafficking. I literally had a drug trafficker as my debate partner. Welcome, Dusty State. Flo, how the hell are you, sir? He's not listening. Mr. Roboto has joined. Try again.
Robo State.
Robo State. That's actually really good. Okay, so since he's not talking, Arthur Daya, he dropped. He must be out on his phone. He's out in Kansas or somewhere. Arthur Daya, you would have to pay that if you plugged it into the system, and once it goes into a bank somewhere. Until then, it's the same as cash that I carry around in my wallet that nobody knows about, right? Nobody knows. But anyway, it's not money laundering. At best, it was tax evasion, but they didn't charge him with tax evasion. They charged him with money laundering. And then they gave him 2 life sentences plus 40 years.
It's insane.
That's insane. And the judge, the best thing was, I also kept going back to this whole bullshit argument about, on his computer, they found where he may have solicited murder for hire. Maybe. They don't know. There were no bodies. Nobody reported missing and or dead. No. But the judge literally said to the jury that as far as he was concerned, that was enough evidence to convince him that Albright was guilty, and he was going to consider it, and did consider it during the sentencing. Which you can't. What could you possibly do to prejudice a jury more? What?
Yeah.
I got to argue this with Arthur Daya. Arthur Daya, here's the thing. If Wally comes over and washes my car and I pay him $100 in cash money, or Or I take out my Bitcoin wallet that's not connected to the internet, and I give him a tenth or 100,000th of a Bitcoin, whatever the fuck it is, to his wallet that's not connected to the internet in any way, shape, or form. You're not paying taxes on that because it's the same as cash at that point, at that moment. Once it enters the system, it can be tracked, but they still don't know how Wally got that Bitcoin. It's just like, how did he get that $100? He manifested it.
Well, I think I'll play the devil's advocate. I think
Go ahead, please. I love devil's advocate. Arthur Dye and I argue all the time.
It's on your self-consciousness. Like, you should self-report. If you're a good person, you should self-report that.
Yeah, that's why Arthur Dye says you have to report income even if you were collecting it in cash. Sure.
Define income.
Right.
Define fucking income. That's the issue. If you ever owned a business, if you ever owned a business, you would learn that real fucking quick, right? Define income.
Yeah. Arthur Dye, if you clean all the men's socks and we pay you in cash, I don't care if you don't report that to the IRS. Keep that money, baby.
That may not be income. That may not be income.
It's not income. That's trade. I'm trading you this.
Maybe she that's a hot, maybe she enjoys that. Maybe that her doing socks is a therapy.
Right? Maybe it's a donation.
It's true. This is true. Yeah. And
I'm making a donation to my cause.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, at any rate, they didn't try to get him on low rent tax evasion. They tried money laundering. RICO. They were really trying to get a RICO case against him, but unfortunately, RICO requires more than one motherfucker to be involved.
The story about the arrest of him at because they arrested him at like a public library, and he was like,
I thought it was a park.
I could have sworn it was a library because he was like this close to like getting the dead man switch into his laptop before they grabbed him just in time.
Well, so there's a lot of mythology around this too. Because they said that he had a dead man switch built into it, that if he closed the laptop without entering a code, that it would wipe the hard drive. That's stupid. No way. No ways. The barista at fucking Starbucks bumps your laptop shut and you just nuke everything. No fucking way.
It was what I heard way back.
I believe it's a USB. I believe
it was a little USB drop. It was disguised as a USB stick, like memory stick, like a little one, but it was really a dead man switch for the laptop.
Yeah.
And I can see the problem. Like, here's the problem with having that debate. And number one, I think maybe the reason I didn't end up catching that was I was so glad that he got let out, because Trump should have let him go back when he was elected in 2016, and pardoned him then. But I didn't want anything to rain on my parade that night. I just wanted to take the W against the system and enjoy it. And it's funny that they get Ghosty and Nina to handle that debate.
Nina picked the topic. I did not know this, but she picked the topic, the prompt.
This kind of just shows
never even addressed the prompt.
Grid, is it kind of funny that feminists really just they put it on full display in that debate that they can't pick a lane on the drug issue? Because either they don't want like harmless young people in jail for making stupid mistakes, but yet they don't want somebody like Ross going free. Like, it doesn't make any sense. Like, somebody who was literally in there for not doing any violent crime whatsoever, but he gets 2 life sentences in a few decades.
Nina literally called him a threat to society.
If he's a threat to society then the 20-year-old marijuana dealer that she'd probably like break her heart over is also a threat to
I
society.
think Ghosty's an addict still. I mean, I get two different stories. Either she's in recovery or she is still an addict and just working through it. I thought Sarah was going to be pissed because no shit, Wally. I literally said in this debate multiple times to Nina, you were dumb. You were literally the dumbest person I've ever come in contact with. I don't normally debate dumb people, and you were dumb. And you were like, I feel bad that I'm debating you right now because you were dumb. And she would just keep talking.
Oh yeah.
And what was awesome is she would say bullshit like, if you would just stop talking and let me talk, and I would be all right, fine, I'll let you talk. And I'd let her talk. And then you know what? The very first thing that would happen when I started talking. Just talk right over me. Literally, the feminist playbook, 100%. It was great. Anyway, so I will continuously shit talk Nina forever. Yes, she was exceedingly drunk, Chuck, in Tennessee. Not only was she, she was plastered. And so what was ridiculous, Wally, what was ridiculous is I thought this was a grown-ass woman, and she's got a red fucking Solo cup. I hadn't seen one of those in a long time. I don't normally hang out with sorority folk.
I don't know. I mix my stuff into nice glass like a real man.
Like a real human. Oh, man, that was funny. Oh, yeah, she was so
all. Fuck you all. There's nothing wrong with a red Solo cup. Fuck you all. Tell you.
There's nothing wrong with it, but it's not.
That was state of the art when
it's still state of the art. It's still state of the art. It's got all the fucking measurements right there built into the damn cup.
That's true.
What more do you need?
Yeah.
I mean, everything is a fine drink delivery system when it's someone else's hospitality, but it's not my go-to in my own house.
So
if it's someone else giving me like a Crown and Coke, like, okay, yeah, your Solo cup drinks just fine.
So I ran into Sarah at DebateCon, and I thought, oh fuck, Sarah is going to be mad that I beat up on the women on the show. I told Ghosty she was a dumb broad and to shut up.
And she is, and she should.
I feel, look, I try and be a little more creative in my insults and a little bit, I like to have a little art in my method. Dude, it was crazy that the repetition, the ridiculousness, the inability to address the actual argument, or the debate prompt. And so I thought for sure, because this debate was wild as fuck. Like Sarah, I think, just gave up. She was just like, fuck it. So I saw Sarah at DebateCon, and I'm like, oh boy, here we go. I'm about to get an earful. Sarah's gonna just be like, but no, she was like, yeah, she kind of had enough of Nina too. Oh fuck! Look at Solo Cup State. What's up?
I'm glad that Clover Tack was trying to speak some sense to you, yuppies. And posh,
you have a red Solo Cup in front of you, don't you? You're about to pick it up, aren't you?
No, I just have a butt bucket.
Okay. All right. How the hell are you? Yes, believe in yourself. Sarah's like 4 foot something, 5'2" actually. I think 5'2". 5'2". She's tiny. She's a tiny person.
Flo, I saw you had a stream the other night about getting banned by my bestest buddy in the whole wide world. Generally.
Yeah, Flo. I was there, and it was boring as fuck. I literally had to
It's not my fault that there's deep lore here, and you have the attention span of a gnat.
Deep lore. I literally understood that thing in 20 seconds. This dude said some shit. GS didn't like it, and they're going to spend the next fucking year talking about it. I already understood that part. All I needed to do was to like move on, and let's move on to the next topic. Let's let's get some punches in. Let's
Yeah, there's not that
enamored by the for public safety saga. Like he's got a whole sector in his wake after him. It's wild.
Yeah, it's weird because I don't even know who that fucking is, but whatever. And
thankfully, the lore on me and him and my feelings about him are not that deep. He insulted my son, so now I want to skip rope with his spinal cord for the rest of my life. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
He's a little sissy boy.
So so I was on there, Wally, and in my way, I was trying to make sense of it, and I was trying to kind of push people to a different subject, but it didn't fucking matter because no matter what you said, they were gonna watch this 3 fucking minute video, no matter fucking what. And I was like, why am I watching this dumbass fucking video?
Grid tried to muscle his way into.
Imagine people having imagine like if they're making the feelings argument for people in prison, like again, like why do they make the feelings argument in support of the war on drugs as well? Like it doesn't make any sense.
Dude, this guy, so I don't know what exactly this dude did to offend generally specific.
He's going to war with local corrupt county officials. And I can't. I didn't want to say this earlier because I don't know it for sure, but you kind of can know things without knowing. Generally specific is he's an agent, right? He's getting paid by the corrupt officials to slander, attack, harass.
Sure. Okay. So I didn't know what was going on. I just wanted to talk some shit about anything else except this stupid 3-minute video that they paused every 2 fucking seconds. It was literally the dumbest shit I've ever been involved in. And I told him so. I was like,
you were just talking about how we debated against Ghosty and what's her face. And you're going to say that my 3-minute video was dumber shit than that? Absolutely not.
It wasn't you. You weren't the one playing the video.
Generally, I don't remember what point you came up.
Generally specific had this stupid video of this guy Chris something or the fucking other.
Oh,
and you were you were just as pissed as I was. Literally, Flow State's like, I don't even want to watch it. Why am I watching this fucking video? I was like, yeah, why are we watching this fucking video? It's it's a 3-minute long video, and I'm like, not if you keep stopping it every 2 fucking seconds.
Did you watch any more after that? He had a nice little meltdown. It was pretty fun.
No, I've literally, when I said I'm out, and I was like, fuck all y'all, you owe me 30 minutes of my life back, and I hate you. I literally shut down, and I went the fuck inside and said, fuck all y'all guys.
Rage quit the internet for the night.
I rage quit your stream for the night.
Well, I mean, if you wanted to fight fire with fire, you could have also insisted the girls sit through like the entire Count Dankula documentary about the Silk Road. That would have made them waste 20 minutes of their time.
No, I don't have that. I don't have that patience. I lack patience.
Like I said, attention span of a gnat.
Patience is a virtue often denied to saints. That's why I'm a fucking slut.
All right. I don't know what
is that why we're not prudes, Grid? Is that what it is?
He says he's not a prude, but you try slipping a finger in his butt and see how he responds.
Why you gotta take it that way? Like, why you gotta go that way with it?
Just like that. I didn't even lay a finger on him yet, and he's already clinching up. You're not a slut. You're a prude.
Unfortunately, Flow State has been to prison. I mean, a jail. I keep saying prison, but it's just jail.
You don't have to go to jail to get the honey bun.
In my world, you do. I don't know what world you're fucking living in. Yeah. So, and then there was Debate Con. I kept waiting for Wally to show up. Wally was going to be my buddy. We're going to hang out.
Yeah, I was excited. And the New England weather decided to be undefeated that weekend, as it always is.
The buddy system doesn't work when your buddy doesn't fucking show up.
Yeah. Yeah, the buddy system doesn't work when your buddy's like got 10 inches of snow ground in his flight.
Yeah, it's funny. It's only funny because it's true. But I got to hang out with Andrew and crew. That was fucking awesome. If you, that was all just great.
Sarah said it was a good time.
It was actually I had a really good time. It was really good. And now I am I'm more or less doing the operations for DebateCon 6, which is going to be in October, and I'm pushing to have it here in Nashville. Although I am open.
I bet you are a little self-serving there. That's all right.
No, a lot fucking self-serving. Although I tried to push for Atlanta because I thought Atlanta would be better, but literally nobody wants to go to fucking Atlanta.
Like, yeah, fuck that. No, please, no. I'll go to Nashville though, Grid. I'll fly down to Nashville.
That's what I get. I get. Oh yeah, I like Nashville. Nashville has good food. Nashville is cool. Nashville. I say Atlanta, everybody's like, "Fuck Atlanta, I ain't going to Atlanta."
Nashville is creepy, and here's why: everybody is too fucking polite. Way too polite. There's no reason.
The guy from fucking Nebraska, you apologize to the fucking prairie dogs you run over with the tractor.
You got your flyover states wrong. I will not respond to the guy from Nebraska. People in Nashville. Nashville is the only place on earth where the person working the drive-thru at McDonald's at 3 a.m. handing you coffee is super fucking excited to see you. Like, what are you doing? Why are you so happy to see me? You should be miserable. You should not. You should not have the demeanor like you're really pumped about something that I don't know about. You're going to set me up or something.
Blow State was in jail a long time.
I was in jail for 4 months, and Nashville people are creepy.
You don't like nice people. That's what it is.
Chatting with you, but
all right, Eugene.
I
can see you. I can see the head bob happening.
Yeah,
that's all right. It's all right. The beard looks good, man. Keep the beard.
Thanks, buddy. Catch up more later.
See ya, everybody. W's in the chat for Eugene. Have a good time, Eugene. Love you, buddy. All right, Arthur Daya. I floated Florida around,
did you sneak in a quick "I love you" at the end there? Is that what I heard?
I love you, man. I love you too, Flow State. In a very weird way.
I got it. Fuck yeah!
It took you.
W's from me. That took me 9 goddamn months. I told you I was going to get it.
I love you too, Flow State. You're all right. You've grown on me like a fucking
yes,
like a fucking rash.
Parasite.
Parasite. All right. Anyway, Arthur Dye. No, dude. Florida. First of all, I floated Florida around. It's a further drive from the people from New York, New Jersey, Boston, Maryland, all those fucking northern ass places. They could fly, but apparently a lot of them are afraid of fucking airplanes and shit. I don't want your beer, Silver Ogre. I don't drink.
I'll talk some shit about that weekend, Grid, even though I wasn't even there.
Yeah. Talk some shit.
I'll throw the gauntlet down on that. I think Andrew himself was behind me missing my flight. I think Andrew clearly had a secret weather domination device in development because he knew when I showed up and we met in person, he knew 1v1, me and him in Street Fighter was happening, and he was going to go down in flames, and he was going to have to concede to me that I was better, and he couldn't live with it.
Yeah.
So he conjured up a snowstorm to keep Wally in New Hampshire.
That
Probably
sounds
you
like
just got a piece of shit car and you didn't plan ahead. Come on.
That sounds like some Andrew Wilson shit.
No, I was actually Flo. I was Friday, Saturday. I was down in Massachusetts for an ICP concert with my son that he wanted to go to.
Okay, that's dope.
And
how old is your son?
He's 15.
That's fucking dope. I took my daughter to Corn when she was 12.
He's got one of these too. We got matching hoodies together for this.
Oh my god, this is like white trash paradise.
And so we do that. He gets to see them at the same place I met his mom when I was 22, and so we get back so by Saturday night, that's when the snowstorm starts. And I had already had an alert Saturday afternoon that my flight was canceled and it was getting rebooked. But by the time, even if that flight was going to be able to take off, the second one, I was going to miss everything. There was going to be no point with the hotel or anything like that.
It was, so.
Thanks to Andrew conjuring a snowstorm because
when I heard them praying, I heard him and Jim Bob and David.
Jim Bob didn't make it for some reason.
They were all doing their Orthodox prayers.
Yeah, that's it.
They were conjuring the snow to repel.
I don't know what ball means, but I heard it a lot of times. I don't know. Anyways.
Yeah. So, DebateCon was cool. Obviously, the Brianna Wu Wit Sit debate was legit, and Alex Stein was off the chain. He was fucking awesome. And
I wanted to meet Alex Stein in person so bad.
He's so cool.
I wanted to pay for the VIP just so I could subject him as a captive audience to my jokes for an hour.
Shit, I would pay for the VIP to subject him to your jokes for an hour.
He's actually a really cool dude. I thought he was going to be a little weird, but maybe standoffish or something, but he was pretty cool.
Other reason was I've had shit I've wanted to say to Brianna Wu since like 2012-ish.
I've heard a lot of people are like, I just want to sit there and I'd pay the money just to sit there and yell.
There are a lot of people who go all the way back to Gamergate who have wanted to give Brianna a piece of their mind uninterrupted.
Yeah, no shit.
For well over a decade now.
And everyone forgets that. Like literally everyone forgets Gamergate.
I have no idea what Gamergate is.
It was the old internet blow up that got a lot of people basically to a level where they got popular. Like that's where Milo made his reputation when he was still with Breitbart. That got a lot of YouTube gamers like Total Biscuit over with people and expanded their fan base. And then it was all basically going against people like Sarkeesian and Brianna and who was the other one? Leigh Alexander was the other gaming journalist.
Wu had this weird gaming company where she actually like made some games and with some other
Depression. I think Depression Quest was what it was called. It was
it
was a mental health advocacy game, aka not fun.
You would have liked this.
That sounds awful.
You would have liked this though, my buddy.
It's one of those games with a message flow, which means no actual man wants to play it.
So Stein was about to go in and debate Jasmine Jafar on is pornography harmful to society, and I told him that I would give him $1 for every time he called her a degenerate, and he upped the game. He's like, "Give me $5 and I'll call her a whore," and I'm like, "Deal." He called her a whore 13 times. I owe him $65.
Okay, I do appreciate the shit out of that. Actually, why haven't you paid this man yet? He earned.
I offered several times. He's like, "Nah, don't worry about it." And I'm like, "No. Deal's a deal, brother. I gotta get that Venmo sometime."
Yeah, no, that's good. I approve of that. Even though I like Jasmine Jafar, I approve of that.
You got to watch it because he's just like he was just randomly dropping whore. It was fucking great.
I had the opposite of that once. My best friend of over 25 years now once offered me he goes, "If I gave you $100, could you just not call me gay once for an entire day?"
No. You're gay, aren't you?
He's your best. It's like if it's your best friend. Of course, he's always gay when you make fun of him.
Yeah.
But that was the hardest. That was the hardest $100 I ever lost.
I bet. Yeah, Gamergate did. Silver Ogre actually exposed the normies to DEI and access media iceberg. That is true, but it had been there. It had already pre-existed. It just exposed the fact that it was in the games and all of that. And people are still like,
well, not only that. Well, actually, not only that, Grid. Like what originally kicked off Gamergate was when stories started coming out that the game developer had been that one of these game developers. I think it was Lee Alexander, or it was someone, or no, it was another one, but I forget her name right now off the top of my head. But there was another one who had worked on a game, and it came out that she had been sleeping with a critic from some magazine.
That sounds exactly like Woo. You know, Woo, one of the things that and I think she'll sue you over this. I need to be careful, but apparently at one point, and you see Stein at the end of the debate with Wit Sidit, he asked Woo a question right after I do, and
Zoe Quinn. That's the other one I was trying to think of. Zoe Quinn. That's the one that was sleeping around.
So after the debate with Wit Sidit, Stein comes up and literally says, "Hey, do you always tell men that you meet in bars that you're really a dude?" And she was apparently at one point she did not do that. Like that's a real thing, right? Like, and would go to bars and pick up dudes and not tell them that it's a full body conversion job. So she got the fake vag and everything. Like, check under the hood, looks real, but it isn't. It's Memorex. So, but and apparently Woo will sue you over that if you bring that up. So, and Stein just straight up was like,
sue him for what?
Have you for bringing that up? It supposedly slanders her or some crap. Isn't it fairly obvious Brianna is not a girl? Has fake everything.
It's been fairly obvious to anyone who's been on Twitter since 2013.
Yeah. There's no Beans and Franks left. No Beans and Franks.
All anyone's ever needed to do is hear Brianna speak, and it removes all doubt if you're not retarded.
I can't disagrray with that.
Like, my voice has never improved.
Good. I feel like in honor of Okay.
I knew you were doing that.
You knew I was doing that, right? I've already got it screen recorded. How do I get this? How do I get that?
I was sitting there watching you work. I'm like, what he's doing is.
How do I get that thing off?
You want? What do you want? You want this down?
Oh wait, no, hold on. I'm good. All right.
I got you.
Good night, Grid. Love you.
You guys have a great rest of your evening.
Love you, Grid. Love you, Grid. He's not gonna say it back to me.
I do not love you, Flo State. I am sorry.
I love you, Flo State. I love you, Flo State.
I know you do. I love you too. Grid one's the only one that seems to be choked up in his feelings. He can't.
There's no tip to tip.
You're emotionally constipated, sir. You assume it was say love. It's not. Melody, I love you. Do you love me?
I said it before. I said I love you, Flo. And he knows I do. He knows I do. I've said it to him many times.
Do you love Grid 1?
Absolutely.
Do you love Melody, Grid?
I'm sorry, I do not.
That's okay. I love you.
I love Melody. I love Melody.
Oh, you
always brings
Sarah, if you were in New Jersey, Sarah, I wish you were, but
I have an apartment in New Jersey.
But you don't love him, so it doesn't matter.
Do you love Grid 1?
The fact that you've got this polished.
Good night, Grid. Love you.
Have a great rest of your evening. The fact that you have that polished already.
That's old. That's from months ago.
Oh, okay. Okay. I was like, wow, you have been over there.
No. What's the date on that? That's from August 12th of 24. So yeah, don't underestimate
a year ago.
don't underestimate how determined and petty I can be.
And petty.
The amount of love that was in that short was just
Grid
overwhelming. Really,
he would never say he loved me, and I was like, you know what? But hey, now that he said it, all right, fuck you guys, I'm out. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, that's perfect.
what I take about that is that my co-host could say she loved me on stream and people would seethe about it either way.
Oh, dude, that's the next thing we got to talk some shit about. Oh my God. What message? What last message? No, now I got to fucking scroll.
That's what I take away of it. You know, if everybody's just say, you know, we got that collection of, you know, different people all saying they love somebody. It's a, you know, like a co-host can say I love you and it shouldn't be strange.
Yeah. I tuck my homies into bed at night and kiss them on the foreheads. That's not weird.
No, that's weird.
Yeah. But so is what he was saying. That's what I was. Yeah.
I got you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had to make it weird.
I got you.
That shirt already made it weird.
Let me check that.
Oh,
that shirt is. I got to be honest with you. That is a bold strategy there, Wicked.
The wolf face there.
Silvar Ogre coming through on the Cash app.
Well, imagine how much worse it would look on me, Grid, if I wasn't down to 240.
You're
look much
down.
worse.
Hold on. Hold the phone. Down to 240?
Yeah.
Holy shit. I am at right. I'm at like 238. 240 was the heaviest I've ever been in my life.
Yeah.
And I was literally after I hurt my leg, I went from 215 to 240 in the space of about 6 or 8 months. Like, it was nuts. Oh, look at you.
What is a juggalo? I don't know.
I'll cover it up with the shirt.
No, leave it. It's fucking scary. It's like, damn, that dude's fierce. You can tell by the teeth on his shirt. Watch out for that one.
There we go. This is the second time I've had to put on a hoodie because of Grid this week.
That's true. So have you come to like a peaceful decision about your co-host?
The peaceful decision is that I'm keeping her. That's the peaceful decision, because you know what sat in my head for like a couple of for like a day after
the acid you took?
No. After the flow state, I don't partake in any intoxicating substances whatsoever. That's something I've never done, something I would never do. Excuse me.
No, flow state doesn't either. He just sells them.
But
no comment. Nice try, Fed.
Ariak's whole, like, it took me a while, maybe because I was so intoxicated at the time throughout the whole thing, Grid, but it took me a while to realize my Irish brother in Christ there, Teriak, was, the more I thought about him, like, it sounds like he's actually really just coping. And because when he brought up his, the fact that he used to do some streaming with Kat regularly, I'm like, and he's like, and it became untenable. I'm like, there's the problem. You are coping over the fact that your arrangement with her imploded.
I like Teriak. You know, he seems like a good dude, but he's inconsistent, and he's what's the word I'm looking for? Kind of puritanical. And look, I only have a problem with your. I have the same problem with your co-host that I had with Kat.
Looking for.
Sorry?
High maintenance is the word you were looking for. High maintenance. You're high maintenance.
No, that's not it. That's not it.
You don't think that's okay? I think that one's in the chat.
We can talk about that in a minute. Yeah, we'll talk about that in a minute. So the and we actually so Wednesday night we're going to be doing we're going to start a show arc of basically around the idea of redemption, right? Like for some reason there's this puritanicalness that's working its way around through a lot of the communities, including the one that I happen to find myself in, and what it seems to be is there's no room for someone to change, right? Like I can accept the fact that Flow State was, at one point in time, he was a bad guy. He sold drugs. He probably did bad things. Now, has he changed his evil ways? I think so. I feel like he's probably a pretty good guy. I'm not sure I would leave my wallet on the table, but probably my car key. And I'd probably leave my car keys on the table. But whatever.
Yeah, I mean it's a little hard to sell a car for crack, but
but it's not hard to sell a catalytic converter.
True.
And so it seems like this way. Tell me if you guys have seen this. It seems like that if you talk about a girl like that, all right, like so for Kat, for example, Kat sent me a headshot when she was going to be my co-host. I said, "Hey, send me a headshot. I'm going to put you on a thumbnail."
She sent me a whole body shot. Weird. Just kidding.
Sure. And I said and so she sent me one that's was from a thumbnail or something she had done, and it had her boobs, hanging out of a sundress and all that, which it wasn't that bad, but it just really didn't fit with the rest of the thing. So I'm like, "Hey, do you have another one?" I'm like, that was just that was a little odd. So she sent me another one. That one was great. Put it on the thumbnail. Everything was great. Where I think that would really bother Terry. Like I just let it go. I was just like, yeah, it's no big deal. She, it's okay for a woman to dress in a sundress when it's appropriate, right? Like it's no big deal. It's fine. It's even fine if, oh my God, she wears less than that sometimes. That's totally cool.
What's not fine though is that you were like, no more clothes.
No, you mean no? Oh, hold on. No more clothes.
I'm on the other, all the way opposite side of the earth from Teriak on this situation.
Yeah, Teriak is like. Well, I don't know his actual position, but what it seems like. What it seems like is that he has no room to look past anything that he finds negative or offensive, right? So like if he knows, for example, all right, let's just take for example, right? If it were the case that, like Wally's co-host
Eternal
thought.
Nice. Fist bump. You're gonna invite me on, right?
Yeah, we've been doing. Oh, dude, we do it Wednesday like afternoons Eastern time because it works for her. But we've been doing it for a couple weeks. We've been doing it for a couple weeks now. We've been calling it Wicked Eternal Wednesday.
Well, drop a link in the back chat so I can sub up.
Sure. I'll get you that. 1 second.
Yeah, actually, while I have the mod spot, spam it out in the chat.
Yeah, please spam it out.
Welcome, America Uncensored. So when we're talking, so the thing is like, look, it may not be my preference for a woman to run around in a sundress or a short skirt or whatever the fuck, whatever the fuck that chick was wearing the other day. I'm not really sure what it was, but it was pretty revealing. Eternal Thought.
Oh yeah. No, she's great.
And
to be fair, Grid, it is properly just Eternal.
I have to add the. I'm kidding. I won't. I'll stop.
We get it. You hate cleavage. You love cocks.
Oh, I love cleavage. I didn't say I hate cleavage. I actually, and so that's one of the things. So the other day when I guess they were trying to get me to say something weird, but
You came in more on my side. I think you
did. Well, they were like, well, what about this? And I'm like, well, it's very dependent. They were so basically they were being dicks, and if I come into a stream where people are being dicks, I take the opposite side just to be the counter dick.
Yeah.
Right. And so I kind of pissed Jess off because I was like, look, you can have the same amount of cleavage shown and it just be in a different outfit. And one, it's terrible. And the other, it's perfectly okay. I said, so, and I used the example. So if you see a woman in a what did I use? Tennis skirt, I think. A tennis skirt and like a kind of a crop top kind of thing, maybe one of those short Oxford or whatever that they wear. That's perfectly fine, right? That's hot, actually. It's kind of cute. And then you see the same woman in a what did I think it was short shorts and a halter top. Well, that's probably not as cute. That comes across far more slutty, right? Same amount of skin shown, right? Like it's the same amount of skin. And Teriak, for whatever reason, he would not engage with me really on it. I noticed it was mostly Jess engaging. The minute I left, Teriak re-engaged Wally on the same exact tired line of bullshit. And
I got your back, Wally.
So
I knew you would.
So what's the point though? Like,
see, here's the thing. Let me get all this out. Like I was trying to get it out when I was conversing with him about it. Like
Morpheus.
I grew up watching like pro wrestling, and my two favorite wrestlers of all time were Randy Savage and Triple H. So I'm used to seeing rough looking motherfuckers paired up with an attractive looking woman, and it's not a foreign concept to me to be like part of like people like that as part of a presentation, and I think that's perfectly fine. I mean, you spend your life watching something like wrestling every week, and like, okay, women in two-piece outfits is not like a distraction to you after a certain point. Like he's been there, done that, see plenty of it all the time. Like, let's get on with the program. So like, but when Teriak goes to this attitude of like he talks like he thinks everyone should be in a burqa, like I think that gets a little too puritanically extreme, and I think it's very funny that like he's bringing all these grievances to the table with me when he's on the heels of having a show with a girl as his co-host implode. And I saw that stream. Like it wasn't like they were legit arguing, like it was very heated. It was an implosion of that show, like on the air live. So maybe this is him overcorrecting that problem, because a lot of people do that. Like you guys were contending with a former addict or whatever, like on that debate, who's clearly like trying to overcorrect because of her past. She's taking the position she takes now. People get very extreme sometimes when they're overcorrecting a problem. They they've
Was
experienced.
he addicted to corn or sex or something?
Yeah, I can't tell. I can't tell what the. So Teriak really hasn't talked about his background or anything like that. I don't know.
So yeah, I would like to know what anybody thinks the harm is being done. Like I'm glad you brought up the puritanical bent in the, I don't know, this whatever corner of the internet, because I've noticed it too. And it seems like two things. One, it's an overcorrection from how wonky and liberal things got the last 5 years or so. Two, it's a lot of dudes have resentment because they didn't get any of that and still aren't.
Sure.
And that's mobilized. And then I guess it's like a witch burning or something. But I'd like to know what anybody thinks the harm is. We're
gonna start doing a show series Wednesday nights, and it's on about redemption, right? Because what really the problem is that there's no air for these people. Once you fuck up, that's it. You're done, right? Like Flow State, you can never be anything but a drug dealer.
Which is ironically the least Christian position I can think of.
Exactly right. And so that's we're looking at it. And the first one, you're going to love this, Flow State. The first one is this Wednesday night. The subject is sex outside of marriage a sin?
Are you asking me, or are you telling me that that's the title?
No, that's the title.
Okay.
You can answer it. You can answer it if you
want. There was a pause there. I didn't know if that pause was for me. So I'm not Christian, so I don't view sin that way, or I don't view actions as sinful in God's eyes. So I'm going to say no just off that premise. But if I engage it and just grant sin as a thing, per the Bible, I believe it is.
A lot of people believe that.
I don't know for sure. I can't remember if I know adultery is.
Well, fornication is.
Is it okay? I couldn't remember for sure where adultery is.
So Paul defines fornication as what we would term deviant sex, right? Like, although he goes a little further in what he considers deviant sex, but like sex purely out of lust, animalistic, basically your average one night stand where you don't even like the person or don't really know them, and you're just getting it on to get it on. So that would be fornication, and that would be a sin. How major a sin, we don't know. It's really not quantified, but and then you have homosexuality, obviously bestiality, any of the deviant things, right? Like lesbianism, homosexuality, that's all considered fornication and a sin. And then you have, and then you go into, did you know that in Paul, the way that Paul has written that if you have sex with a divorced person, it could be a sin. Could be.
So I find that puritanical mindset, or the sex is bad, lust is bad mindset. Mm-hmm. And this isn't from Bible or anything. This is just logic. If God created man and woman, and God created woman for man, and then he said it was good on the sixth day, and then humans are running around saying it's bad, that seems to me like that would be blasphemy.
I feel like I just lagged out or something.
Okay. If God created man and woman, God created us with our sex drives and all that stuff intact, right?
Sure.
And on the sixth day, God said that he created everything. He said it's good. So now to have humans sitting around going, your nature, the sexual part of you as God created you is bad. I think that's blasphemy.
Well, it's not that. No, he never says sex is bad. That's an interesting
short of it, doesn't he?
Well, so Paul says in his eyes that it's better to not have sex, and the Catholics hang on to that one line. But if you do have sex, or no, pardon me, he says only have sex to procreate. But if you're going to have sex, otherwise, be married, right? Actually, America Uncensored is correct here. It's the sex that makes you married to begin with. There was no marriage license. There was none of this. None of the things that we think of as marriage today. It was simply that, not even love. See, love it's interesting because nowhere does it say that love is a part of it. It was duty, honor, faith, being faithful, that sort of thing. But they don't talk about love. They do talk about lust, and and it's one. I think it's the best I can come up with, because I have I'd never made a special study of this area, so I have a very rudimentary knowledge in a lot of ways. But my best understanding of it is it's the what is it? Now I'm trying to think. I just had it and then I lost it. Just small amounts of all things, right? Like don't do anything to excess. But that's even that in and of itself is not a sin. Gluttony is, right? Lust is. But as an actual sin, sex outside of marriage in and of itself is not Arthodiah, that's wrong, actually. Moderation, thank you, Mike Ball. That's absolutely not what it says. That
might be Christian tradition, but
it's tradition. It's become tradition,
right?
Because we defined what marriage is. We defined marriage. We defined a marriage contract. We have gradually worked it down, right? But I challenge people to show me in the Bible where it says that sex is a sin. I'm not talking about church tradition. I'm talking about, is sex a sin?
If your name is Augustine, it basically was, and that's the reason why a lot of modern religious philosophy, especially in Roman Catholicism, has gotten very corrupted about sex, because it's heavily influenced by somebody who had an awful opinion of sex.
Yeah. I think
I don't really care about church tradition here. I'm not Orthodox.
So I don't. But in the just making the point that it's influenced, like even like a lot of what we see in broad Christianity now has influence going back to like Augustinian philosophy.
Yeah. So this is actually one of the. This is there was no church in those days. This is a problem with the idea of just, well, first of all, I don't really no, Andrew's debating somebody else right now. He's debating an idiot right now.
Yeah, he's got a jackass to deal with.
This isn't really a debate. We're gonna have to do a show on Wednesday night. Maybe I can get Andrew to be part of it. But is sex a sin? If it is a sin, and someone has a wild period in their childhood, are they ruined forever? The Bible tells us no. Society seems to think otherwise. I think that's a problem.
I agree with you, and Jesus does too. Arthur Dye is on the side of Satan, condemning people for things they need not be condemned for. No, but I do think that Christian culture or tradition, that attitude towards sex, I think, is actually harmful as fuck. And you can see it with the priesthood, right? What's more corrupt? Like, to tell somebody that they have to forego one of the most important kind of aspects of life forever. I mean, that it's at best cruel, and it's at worst causes perversion and demented behavior, I think.
So, Arthur Dye, this is not a weird interpretation of the Bible's view. This is literally what the words say. It's not an interpretation. I had to go look because I've been told my entire life that sex is a sin, and I took that on faith. And I actually believe, the way I read it back when I was a child, I did to some degree believe that sex is a sin. However, when you actually go look through everything, it's not a sin. And you guys have to, we have to understand that there are things that we are taught because it's convenient to teach us that. No, sex outside of marriage is not a sin. Sex out of lust is a sin. Deviant sex, homosexuality, bestiality. There's like a list of what and it comes out of the Roman porneia, whatever, which is I had to go look this up, guys. I actually had to study this shit for a couple of days, because and I'll tell you why I have kind of went down this path. When I was a youngster, I went to the Southern Baptist Convention every year.
Oh Lord!
And they had a bunch of people who talked there and teaching people, about the Bible. And we one year had this guy stuck with me my whole life. This guy and his wife, and they were actually. I was old enough to sit in on this lesson about sex and marriage. And obviously marriage is a modern institution. Marriage as we know it is quite different than anything in the past. But these people were like, you have to understand that what God's really talking about is there has to be loving and caring, and you have to be it has to be you become one, right?
You just said it didn't say anything about love.
Yeah, but it doesn't say anything about love. That's the only way I can express it. I lack the vocabulary at this
commitment
moment.
Or something, devotion.
Yeah, commitment. You have to have you become one, right? Like that's the idea of the Bible is that through the act of sex you become one entity, right?
One flesh.
Thank you. That is exactly what it says. I don't have my notes in front of me, so I'm just fucking bouncing off the walls. And it never talks about marriage. It does talk about sex. It does talk about divorce. The only thing that you could get divorced for was abandonment or adultery. And they considered it adultery if you were divorced and you slept with somebody. If you were divorced for something else other than adultery and you slept with somebody after your divorce. That was, it's very interesting. Well, obviously, we've changed things. I'm not really.
I've had a very simple take on the whole premarital sex thing where it's if the alternative is that
I've got Arthur Diet triggered so hard right now.
If the alternative is that it turns somebody into one of these angry, irrational Puritans on Twitter, I would prefer that person engage in premarital sex for the good of humanity to be a more pleasant person for the rest of us to all be around.
Yeah.
Wait, Silver Ogre, hold on. Silver Ogre, wait, what? Had to argue against Protestants claiming the fruit from the garden was sex?
I've heard that. The serpent.
What?
It's I don't know.
Oh, the serpent's a penis? What?
The serpent, yeah, and so basically when she ate from the fruit, the devil tempted her with fruit, and so she bore his fruit, and so that would be the Cain would be the son of Satan, and Abel would be the son of God, or something along those lines.
Is this in the Freudian book of Genesis, Flo?
This is I don't remember what it's. I don't know if it's Gnostic or esoteric or something, but I've heard it before for sure. And Arthur Diet, how do you keep the marriage bed pure? That's the problem with the Bible. What the fuck does keep the marriage bed pure mean?
Also, I believe that's Old Testament.
But I mean, this is the issue, though, right? Like, because that's not a specific. That commandment is very unspecific.
Yeah. Well, we're going to talk about it on Wednesday night. I'm supposed to have Glenn Lawrence is supposed to be a guest there. Man, I'm worried about that guy being able to make it because, unfortunately, he's hanging out with Thor right now, and Thor is very, very ill. Guy has brain cancer. I'm sorry.
Oh.
Yes, pornea was referred to any deviant sexual activity. Just Silver Ogre's right about that.
I don't need tradition. I don't think that tradition does tell you that. I actually think that the tradition, and I said it before, and I'll say it again.
Did I say tradition?
Oh no, I'm just trying to.
Oh, okay. I was like, wait, what?
The tradition, the tradition of religious attitudes towards sex, not just Christianity, Islam for sure as well, Judaism, really all the ones I'm familiar with. The religious attitude toward sex is basically narcissistic abuse. And it trains people to believe that they are bad for something that is inherently biologically encoded into them. It's a pretty fucked up psyop.
Well, we'll get into it on Wednesday. I didn't intend to go this far with it tonight.
Look what you did.
I always do. So we're actually supposedly, I think we're going to have a lady who had quite a notch count, but is happily married, kids, and I believe is returned to Catholicism. I'll have to check. She was a Catholic. I don't know where that is, where that's at. And then I've got one other guest and maybe a third other than Glenn. Hopefully Glenn does make it. Fortunately, yeah, like I say, Thor is not doing well right now. Thoughts, prayers, all of that needs to go out to him. This is where the Ortho Bros have a huge point. You can't weasel out some interpret. I'm not doing that, Arthur Dye, and I really I reject the idea that I am. I actually had to go look into this because I just accepted the what other people were saying and never really looked into it myself. This is actually the problem with Orthodoxy, is that if you were listening to somebody with an agenda who, regardless of whether or not they've done everything, if they have an agenda and you do what they say, then you could be doing wrong. This is my problem with Catholicism. This is my problem with a lot of the tradition bound religions. That's why I'm glad that I'm Southern Baptist and not Orthodox. And I'm sure that Andrew would have a lot to say on the other side of that. And I just don't have any time to argue about it. I don't argue about religion because I'm not going to change anybody's mind. The question is if sex is actually a sin, and I don't agree. I'm not going to agree or disagree in either direction right now. I will say that I found more evidence in the Bible that sex before marriage is not sex outside of traditional marriage is not a sin, or what we consider traditional marriage is not a sin, more than that it is at this point. Now we're going to talk about that. We're going to go there on Wednesday, not tonight, and we're going to have women, and we're going to have hopefully some decent females on the panel to give a opposite viewpoint than mine. We'll have Glenn. Hopefully, it's going to be a great show. And but really, I don't know. I really detest talking about religion.
What time do you start on Wednesday, Grid?
8:00.
8:00. Okay, I'll be able to raid into you on Wednesday.
Sweet. And what we're going to do, guys, is the actual substance. I hope that we don't get too stuck on the whole is it a sin or not, because it doesn't matter to me what you think, if it is or isn't. The idea, though, is if it is a sin, if it is, why do we need Andrew, Arthur Daya?
Because she's Orthodox and she wants a strong Orthodox voice.
Yeah, Central Time, by the way. It's Central Time. 8 o'clock Central Time. That's 9 o'clock your time. Wicked Wally.
Oh wait, 9 my time. Shit, yeah. I got to end the show by 8:30 on Wednesdays, so I won't be able to.
You think we give a good defense of the Bible? Do you think Glenn will not, Arthur Daya? Do you think
a reminder up, Grid? I'll raid into your reminder. How's that?
There you go.
I'll go live. I'll have to wait for you for 30 minutes.
Do you think I'm not a good defender of the Bible? That's a. See, this is my fucking problem with all this bullshit.
The Orthodox is kind of a cult.
Glenn and I are doing the show assuming that he's not. There's not a problem with Thor. This is my show that I've invited Glenn and a couple of panelists on.
I will say from my outside perspective that
Glenn actually has a degree in theology.
Glenn is not only way knowledgeable, but he's the least abrasive Christian to interact with, I think, of maybe anyone I've ever met on the topic. He's fantastic in that role.
Arthur Dye, we can disagree on whether you think my understanding is or is not correct. We will have multiple people up here to debate that. I had to go look. I'm proposing something. I didn't say that I believe it. I'm just simply making the argument. The one thing that all you fuckers forget, including Arthur Daya, is if you can't argue both sides of an issue, you lose because you don't understand your opponent. You don't understand their point of view, and you've already lost before you start. I understand Flow State's argument as a, kind of half-ass atheist that he is, and that's why when he and I talk, I can go back and forth with him about it intelligently. Right?
That's definitely a legit description too.
So I'm not, I didn't say that I believe this. I said that when I went and looked specifically where it says in the Bible, sex before marriage is a sin, I couldn't find it. And none of you fuckers have been able to give me a definitive verse, a definitive passage, a definitive actual, thou shalt not have sex before marriage. Now, obviously, I agree that there is a very clear stance against what we would in modernity call degeneracy.
Doesn't it?
Go ahead.
Doesn't it seem like if it just seems off to lump premarital sex in the same category as bestiality when it comes to
but they don't. That's the point. The point is that they don't ever say that sex before marriage in and of itself is bad. What they define as bad is sex with pure lust, right? That's animal sex, basically, right? Like animalistic, where you don't care about the person. There's no connection. You're not becoming one, any of that.
Is this where getting the milk for free came from?
Sorry?
Is this where getting the milk for free came from?
I have no fucking clue, but that's awesome. Paul's very clear about that, what he calls porneia, and which we would define as fornication, is a sin. And a lot of people have, what we've done is we've lumped all sex before marriage as fornication. I like that song too, Ticky Tack. That's good. No, Arthur Dye, you did not give me a verse that said, thou shalt not have sex before marriage. You didn't do that. You gave me the same verses I found, which don't say that. No, actually, Arthur Dye, that is your fucked up definition. What I actually said was the Bible says that it is totally morally fine for you to sleep with someone outside the surly bonds of legal marriage if you care for each other and are of one flesh. Do you not understand that it is the only way, by the way, that we can rationalize how arranged marriages are not sin? It's the only way you can do that. It's the only way you can
specify.
Huh?
I'm in response to the comment down there. So how much premarital sex is okay before marriage? It doesn't specify. Like I'm not even Christian, but I've read the whole Bible. And
the act of sex alone means you're married. Technically, that's what it means.
Wasn't Jesus's whole point to stop focusing on the letter of the law and have a relationship with God?
Well, I can't get into that. I'm not a dude. I did not study theology. That's a Glenn question.
Okay.
Right?
Let me. Okay, then I'll make the claim. That was Jesus's main point. Arthodiah.
I'm sorry.
Of course, the church, the people you've appointed to interpret God for you, they're going to tell you otherwise because, well, that's in their interest.
I'm not getting into the church being in the interest or anything. So
I tap out.
Once upon a time, we were going to shit on an Irishman, and we kind of got derailed.
Oh yeah, sorry, man. I apologize.
So we were I
apologize.
On the Irishman.
American Uncensored. Read the whole Bible for yourself and ask the Holy Spirit for discernment, and chances are you might leave your church for being misleading. I don't know about that. What I know is I had to go look. I couldn't find anything that said that sex before marriage, but I couldn't actually find anything about actual marriage. Well, I found interpretations of what marriage are, but I couldn't really get there. I have my own beliefs. I'm not going to get into it because it's counterproductive to the discussion. That's right. Yeah, that's exactly right. Silvar Ogre, that's right. Sex was intended to be the point of marriage. Like it was the marriage, right?
That was not.
Yeah, good.
I feel like I need to grift for Grid here for a moment because he's given so much of Wednesday night show away for free right now to all you.
No, we're going to get way better. I gotta knock down a bunch of this stuff because otherwise we'll never make it to the actual topic of Flow State has been a fucking degenerate half his life. He sold fucking drugs. He fucked women for drugs.
I still accept nudes from women like right now.
He literally accepts nudes from women. I have it on good authority that women from his chat have sent him nudes. He is a fucking degenerate.
I just got some new ones last night.
I'm a degenerate now, apparently.
Hold on.
just by osmosis.
Yeah.
So if Flow State goes to church a couple months down the road, comes out, he's had a little work done, shined up, tuned up under the hood a little bit.
That's
nice, Christian guy
for the channel.
Nice, Christian dude.
Praise
would
God.
we as people who have known him be right to not accept the fact that he claimed to have redeemed himself?
Praise God, brothers.
Would that be right? Should we continue to bring up his previous sins, of which there are many, so many, not judging.
There's a lot.
Many.
There's a lot of them. We haven't even touched on the violence.
So, Mr.
Violence.
I can actually address Mr.'s question about Teriak right there because it's interesting because a few times.
I like Teriak too.
a few times I remember first encountering him on VK, like he wore a crucifix at one point, and then when he started doing his weekly theology show, he was telling people he's agnostic. So I can't really nail down exactly what his religious position is anymore.
Yeah, I'm leaving that up all night. By the way, that you break it, you bought it. I love that. That's
doing good, great. John Deadman.
Sometimes they need you to re-break it.
No.
That's not how any of this works. I got to ask Arthur Daya.
How much premarital sex do you approve of?
Oh, I'm glad.
That's not what you're going to ask her? That's not what you're going to ask? That's what I thought he was going to ask.
That was that. I'm glad you asked that.
And are you married?
She's had a long-term relationship.
So no.
I'm going to leave that up there. That's fucking awesome. I love that. You break it, you bought it. That's great. You would say Teriak is searching? I heard that he had a...
Bounces around.
I heard that he had a crisis of faith. I could be wrong about that. Somebody else.
I don't know. Like I said, I in hindsight from that conversation, I came out of it remembering his whole implosion with Kat and thinking everything he was directing at me was just pure projection, and he was coping over it.
Well, him and Kat had a massive fallout. I mean, I'm not going to get into it, but it was. I know
I touched on it earlier, but like that stream was a disaster. If people saw it, like the arguing got really intense.
When was it?
It was like maybe a month ago, like when they had their little implosion.
Been a little longer.
How do I know? I want to see it.
But it was definitely. I think it was like back in January at some point, like after the beginning of the year.
Not to be a drama slut, but all right, let me look for it.
And like it just devolved into a pure like argument. Like they were just talking over each other.
Was it on her channel?
It might be, but it should be still on his channel as well.
Yeah, I don't know. That there was something there. Arthur Daya, are you sure about that? You sure?
Slipping your dick in.
Okay, we'll find out. We'll find out.
Anywhere
can we do the old Mormon loophole here? What about
bundling back
through a sheet? Maybe is it okay if you keep your premarital undergarments on?
Premarital undergarments.
I don't know. Maybe they got special like premarital undergarments.
Right.
Undergarments.
You guys gotta.
They're made out of silk, so it's not that bad. Look at Grid's face.
Y'all going to hell.
You'll be bored in heaven.
I go out, I'm going outside.
I have a funny story about that. I have a funny joke about that. So when I was I don't know if you guys may not realize this, but I have an air about me. And when I was in military school, I had a real attitude. And I might even say I was arrogant, you know. And I know. I didn't see it myself, but that's the rumor. So there was this guy that made an entire fucking joke, targeted at me, and I figured out that it was about that. Well, someone came and told me. I didn't have to figure out that hard, but guy said, "Hey, don't you think that's funny?" And I was like, "No, I don't think that's funny at all. Here's a joke." So this guy, guy dies, passes away, whatever. He goes up, knocks on the pearly gates. They let him in. What's up? And he says, St. Peter says, "Hey, how you doing? You're in the right place. Your name's on the list. Come on in." I said, "Great, awesome, cool." St. Peter says, "Well, we'll just walk you around, show you around heaven real quick, and then we'll let you go on about your way." Okay, cool. So the guy's walking through there, and he sees this guy standing over, and he's got a bunch of people standing around him. He's like, Is that Elvis?" Said, "Yeah, that's Elvis. He's up here with us." Yeah. People think he's still alive, but he's dead. He's been up here a while. And all right, that's interesting. Well, who's that over there? Oh, well, that's Noah. Yeah, Noah's been up here. He hangs out. He's old now, but he's still around. And all of a sudden, here comes this guy, man. He's walking along, strutting, got a whole entourage, people following him, hanging on his every word. The guy looks at St. Peter and he says, Is that God?" "No, that's just my real name. But don't tell him that." And I thought it was pretty funny. That's just me.
I don't know if you delivered it poorly or if the joke didn't make sense.
The problem is I don't like saying my actual name on the air. So, although my name is
god damn. Okay, yeah, no, that joke doesn't work the way that you tried to tell it.
I know. It is really funny.
You should have said no. That's Grid.
Yeah, it's Grid 1, but don't tell him that. And that's way better, right? Yeah. Anyway.
Okay.
Yeah, you're lost. I'm sorry, Tiki. I killed the joke. I'm sorry. I apologize. But yeah, so that's going to be the redemption arc thing. The real thing is about the redemption. The following week, we're doing one about we're doing the same kind of subject matter, but about men. We're going to talk about how men do bad things, can be bad people. Flow state, for example, can be a complete degenerate. Is he how do why is it that women can't let men be men again and just move on with life? Why is it that society at large, for whatever damn reason, insist upon branding people for life? So that's going to be an interesting one. And then we got we got 2 more shows. We're going to do a total of 4. But really the idea is that why is it so tough for people like Teriak, for example, who seems to be a nice enough guy. I like hanging out with him. But he absolutely, for whatever reason, once you have fucked up, in his eyes, you have fucked up forever. Right? Once you say something degenerate, then you're a degenerate. Is that true?
I actually haven't gotten that impression from him. I mean, at least, let me rephrase that. It seems to be specifically aimed at sloop behavior. From what
right, yeah. Well, and yeah, with him, it's more about women than men. He seems to have a real chip on his shoulder where
he must have got cheated on or some shit.
And just so anybody,
maybe she used too much teeth. You know how that is, Flo. Come on.
Let me tell you about
people who know understand. I'm not even.
It's not a problem in the moment. At the time, you're like, "Oh, this ain't bad," but then the next day, it's like, "Oh my god, what happened to me?"
But just so I'm clear, I'm not trying to start a whole internet beef with my debate partner. It's just the matter is of the facts are. He came at me publicly about this. He never started to me privately.
At least he didn't come to you or on you. That would have been worse.
But
he came at you pretty hard, honestly.
So as far as I'm concerned, me responding to this in public, all I want is fucking fair now.
Yeah, I'm surprised Tiki Tack hasn't come up here and talked shit. We're down 1.
And it's interesting, with the whole redemption thing, Grid, because this is what gets me is and I have told this before, like there was one time I ended up off of VK like over a month ago, fucking passed out. I'm passed out drunk. That's how it ended. That's how I ended up. But that's neither here.
I remember that.
Yeah,
I remember that.
And the funny thing is like of all the people like who had the ability to DM me when everybody was asking at like 2 a.m. where I was, the only one who actually DM'd me who was still watching the show and paying attention was Eternal, who actually dropped me a DM and like said, "Hey, like, are you okay? Like, you fell off the show. Like, people worried about you. Like, are you all right?"
Did she send you a screenshot?
No.
I bet it'd be just. I bet it's you know that like excitement when like a hot chick used to, like, oh, somebody texted me an image, and then you're like, oh,
okay, Mikey, I'm gonna go with that. You're replacing Silvars.
But it's like I don't have a problem. I don't see why anybody would have a problem with me, working with someone who's been nice to me in the past and someone who's been nice to me. It's like I like to lift up people who are nice to me. It's just how I am.
Those people are trying to drag you and her down. It's crab in a bucket bullshit. And
yeah,
literally, and you have free license. Literally, anybody who gives you that shit, you can tell them that I personally say fuck them. I swear to God,
that's honestly where I'm at, because it's like I was trying to have this fucking conversation with Teriak where I'm like, dude, like, why would I want to just like stream games like every time I'm live, or just talk politics every time I'm live? Like, I don't want the stuff I engage with as a hobby to feel like it's regular, like it's a second job. Like, I'd rather just have a show where I can chill with someone I like talking to and we have fun, and it's like a casual, like, variety.
And God forbid she'd be good to look at too.
Yeah,
that'd be the fucking worst.
Well, that's actually my only point of contention is I don't think she's that attractive, Wally. But that's
compared
we know you got a type, Grid. We know you got a type, my brother. We know you got a type.
I have a type.
That Asian persuasion.
Yeah. I actually said that to her. I actually said that to her after the show on Wednesday. I said to her, I'm like, no. Grid's wife is Asian. Don't take it personally. You're not his type.
Yeah.
I'm dropping off, but I wanted to make sure to say, Grid, I love you.
Thank you, man. Appreciate that.
No shit. I was gonna tell Flo we're gonna do another show on Monday. We're doing a bonus show on Monday too in the afternoon.
Yeah.
We might open panel up a little bit if he was free to drop.
Arthur Dyer, are you still triggered? Come on up. Otherwise, it's going to get boring. Actually, it's almost time to hit the hay. But
it's going to get boring.
I'm kidding. So, what would you like to see at DebateCon 6, Wally?
I want to see something that it's like where my interest is like I think the talent problems that like you've mentioned a little bit over the past week, those are problems that are easily fixed.
Sure.
But I think because this is what I've thought every time I've seen DebateCon is like when you have the benefit of having a live space that you essentially can almost make into your own personal TV studio for a day, like take advantage of the fact that you could have a really great live event presentation there with what you can work with and make it look like you're doing almost like you can make it look like you're doing TV level production.
Yeah,
on YouTube. It's not hard. You want something that is.
We'll talk about that in a minute. We'll talk about that in a minute. Let me Arthur Dyer, if you're triggered, to hell with your notes. Get up here. Let's talk. It is Shit Talk Saturday. Get up here and talk some shit. I triggered you. Not intentionally. This one actually wasn't intentional. I didn't realize people were going to get that triggered. This bodes well for Wednesday night.
You're already triggering early.
We're triggering people early. Like, I didn't even think anybody was going to get triggered. Tiki Tack. I have plans. I'm an evil person. In a good way. I'm evil.
Well, what you really want when you're doing like a live event is like you want to make sure you're engaging the live audience to a level that people watching it at home are like, wow, I really missed out and I'm not going to miss the next one of these. Like you want everybody watching at home to feel like they're still missing out on something by not being in the live audience.
Trolling me. What a troll. That's a troll. I'm not taking. No, that's bait. That's bait. That's bait.
Tactics.
Being trolled. Being trolled. Being trolled.
You know what I think it is I think, you know, I think she's mad that I think she's mad the text-to-speech voice worked this week, and, you know, she lost her job to technology.
Well, that's what we're... Yeah.
What would be really great is if, like, you could, because I know they've tried to do something similar, but it would be really great if you could actually have, like, chats being displayed for the live audience, like, behind, like, the debate. Like, if you had a screen displaying, like, super chats that come in.
So let me stop you there. Hold on. So picture this. So first of all, instead of having gigantic ass rooms where all 40 people that are going to watch the debate are instead of being spread out over 90 chairs with lots of room and it looks empty and kind of depressing, we get smaller rooms that fit 30 people. So 10 people are standing up along the walls, like at a White House press conference, right? Or people are hot swapping seats, you know, that kind of thing. And we have cameras in the corners watching people fill the room, mill around, kind of like the White House press conference room. So as the debate goes on, obviously you're going to have cameras on the debaters. More than one this time.
Yeah.
More than two. They had two this time. More than two cameras. But you'll also be able to switch to cameras that show the crowd from various angles. Because I think it's important to give the idea of that this is important, right? This is
and you'd rather have a small space packed than a big space not packed.
Yes, absolutely. And sound works differently in those spaces. The people talk more when it's packed because you talking by yourself in a big room, it echoes and everything. But when you got a bunch of people in a tight space, people talk more. It gives you that hum, that bustle. It's gonna be great.
You get more energy with 50 people in a tighter room than you do with 50 people in a room meant for 500. It's just
that's right, absolutely. So we're going to do that. We're trying to work for that angle. I'd like to have 3 debates going on at a time so that you can, if you want to watch Andrew whoop somebody's ass, you can do that. But maybe you've seen Andrew whip this guy's ass before, and you know, it's cool. Let's wander over here and watch Tiki Tack take on tomfoolery, right?
You know what I think would be a really good thing for a live debate presentation? Is that there should be a special event during DebateCon that is like something in the vein of Verbal Combat as an event live.
Let me see what we got here. Only apply people that haven't wronged you personally, or is it? We're going to talk about that because I think that's a sticky issue.
What if you did what if it was something where it's like, say it's a 2-day event, right? But there's sometimes there are those conventions where it's like it's a 2-day convention, but then if you all show up the day early, like there's like a pre-convention event for everybody. like an opening night festivity. Some conventions will do that.
Yeah.
So if this was like say you were going to run this Saturday, Sunday, you could have a Friday night, like a prime time opening event, and do something like have Easy host like a live VK panel or something like that as like an opening ceremony kind of thing.
Yeah, I'd have to put some thought into that. I don't know how that would work. I don't think we're going to have. So remember,
just have people pre-register. If it was going to be like an open debate panel live, you just have people pre-register for it, and you get called up like it's a battle royal. When there's a space open, get on up.
We got to keep in mind. There's a couple of things. First, Kat, I hope you're doing well. I see you're sick. Hope you guys are having a good night. Go have a great night. Get some sleep. And my wife is sick too. My wife got a cold in New York, and so there's that. So there's a couple of things, Wally. The problem the big problem we have is it's a 2-day event.
Yeah.
So if you have 2 days, there's a lot. It limits what you can really do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like and that's an unfortunate thing, but it's just the truth. We can't have an opening ceremony if basically everybody arrives Friday night, checks into their rooms, gets some sleep, maybe grab some dinner. Saturday morning, they're hard at it. I like the energy, but I've got and I'm still working this out, right? Like we've got a lot of different things to figure out. Tiki Tack, we're not talking next year. We're literally looking at having there's going to be an event in October. And
you're going to have to get me the dates on that as soon as possible.
As soon as we get them, man.
Because my Halloween plans in October usually, because that's horror season for me. My booking fills up in October.
I'm going to push for around the 15th, whatever that weekend is. I'm going to push for them because I don't know. But that's what I'm going to push for. So
yeah, the 15th is a Wednesday this year, so that would be probably the weekend of October 17th.
Sounds right. Yeah, because once you get too close to Halloween, people are busy. They're not going to take time off. And then once Halloween hits, you have a major holiday every 5 weeks.
Yep.
So we just can't do that. So anyway. I want to do 2 to 3 debates going on all the time, maybe with staggered starts, right? Like start this debate, let them get going, start another debate 30 minutes later, start another debate 30 minutes later, and then, or just start them all at the same time and just let it roll. Just have 3 moderators, 3 rooms. We're going to have a space. I'm trying to find a place that has a space for impromptu debates to occur. So you and Tiki Tack, or you and Mr. Mister, or you and who the fuck ever.
Oh, that's a gold idea there. Like having an open mic debate room. That's a gold idea.
Yeah.
You just got to keep the camera running in there, and like magic is going to happen as it happens.
I think I'm going to put a couple of moderators in there and just let people go in and just hit it pretty.
Now this is something where it's like they would want to be obviously like somehow simultaneously streaming everything at once.
And then I don't know who the headliners are going to be. I don't know. Why would we get Dave Smith. He's a horrible debater.
So let me ask you this, Grid. Like with having all like the simultaneous debates going on, plus you have like the live drop in, drop out room.
Yeah.
Now, is this going to be something where, like, say, for every block of time, only one of the debates would be the streamed event, and then the other one? I
think we're going to try and stream them all at the same time. That's actually so. You just hit on one of the problems that we have is enough bandwidth, right? I
don't even know how many streams you can run at that many at a time.
We can, I mean, hotel. I mean, you know, with a hotel. I mean,
but I mean, like as far as like within their YouTube channel, I don't know how many streams they can have open at once.
Now that's a great question.
Like you actually might need to be like, okay, this one's the main event is going to be hosted on Modern Day Debate for that block, but like the other debates will be on like this channel's going to host it or that channel's going to host it. Like
I don't think it matters as far as YouTube is concerned.
Yeah, it might not. But if there is a limit on how many streams,
I've actually been in like 3 streams at a time, no problem.
Yeah, but if there's a limit on like how many like one channel can host simultaneously, that might be an issue. I don't know if there is.
Yeah, we'll have to look into that. That's a good question.
Because I know Shout Factory has a lot of streams that are all live simultaneously. If you want to watch Alpha Ninja Turtles at the same time.
Where did I go? I just saw something. Yeah, Dave Smith is a terrible debater. Jasmine Jafar is actually not a bad debater on very specific subjects. She is probably the best person to debate is OF destroying society. She did a good job. I felt like Alex could have taken the debate a little more seriously and done a little more damage. But she did a good job defending her side.
You notice, if you remember, Grid, when you and Teriak were getting into it a little bit, he really did not like my answer when he was posing you the question of like, well, should your daughter be friends with an OnlyFans girl? Yeah. And it's like, I reject the premise of the question.
Because that's his methodology though, right? Like he tries to do he tries very hard to do the Andrew Wilson thing of throw the impossible question at you, right? Like, would you rather suck 100 dicks or would you rather do whatever? And obviously you're gonna be like, what the fuck? You're gonna be repulsed by the question. But it's a logic test. He does that all the time. It works unless you have good logic and consistent logic.
Well, the problem is that he poses you something where there's an immediate inverse of it. So he's actually giving you the negative inversion of the premise where he's presuming this person I think bad pulls down someone I think good. Like automatically, that is what he's positing, is that the good person is always brought, is that this person I like is always brought down by someone I don't, when really the person you like could uplift the person you don't like.
Right. Well, again, it's a logic test in that you're right. The logic is the logic is, if your logic is consistent, you would say, I'm okay with my son hanging out with an OF model because I trust him to do the right thing, and his positive influence could change that person's life. And I believe that it's more likely that his beliefs are stronger than her weak will, and therefore she would change. She would rise to the occasion, and he would not sink to the depths. That's my personal belief, and I told him that. He didn't like that answer and called it cope. It's not cope. It's the reality of it. It is reality. because we make that. And as I told you, he literally goes to school every day with people I do not like. I do not trust those kids, and yet he is a good young man. At some point you have to trust your training, and so So my logic was consistent. His logic is not as consistent in that what he's saying is that we, as humans, we will always default to our basest nature. Right. So Wally, if you were to, and basically what he's saying is, Wally, you're a dude and you have this woman that you find at least entertaining, potentially attractive, running around in what they would consider to be less than ideal clothing. You're in jeopardy of becoming even more degenerate than you already are. Rather than saying, hey, this degenerate girl has no fucking clue. She doesn't know anything but being degenerate, and I can show her through my strength and my leadership how to not be a degenerate.
And even then, just so like that's even like an answer where he's still like he's presuming she's a degenerate, like he knows her, which he doesn't. That's why
you could say, all right, so I will give Teriak that based on the way that she was dressed in the one stream that I saw her, I would have said, yeah, she's probably degenerate. Whether she is or not is irrelevant.
Yeah, I know like she had actually been off the internet for a long time. Like we talked a bit about that on Wednesday, and like she mentioned like how she during her, I guess you call like her first life on the internet, she was doing like cosplay modeling and stuff, like dressing up as comic characters and whatnot for that kind of modeling. So it's like, the way she dresses isn't like uncomfortable for her. It's not like she's not used to it. Like
let me read the super chat here. $5 from Anson Knowles. Great show grid. Once again, his special lady, Arthur Daya, saved the stream from chat. She's got the assets to be a terrific content creator. His words, not mine. I just read it. Where was here's his other comment. This is good. What do you think about this, Wally? Here we go. What do you think about that? If Jesus were alive today, would he be simping on OF to save the strumpets?
As in
loaded question much?
Yeah, I know. That's true. That's true.
I like it though. I like it. It gives me something to work with. So, were Jesus alive today, he would be so busy strapping sinners in the streets like he did the bankers or the money changers. We wouldn't. His arm would be wore out. He'd have that like giant right arm that he might be left-handed. I don't know. Would he be simping on OF? I don't know. I don't see Christ as being a simp, but maybe. I don't know. I don't judge.
If I was
trumpets, Christ was sent here to save everyone, Anson Knowles, all of us, even the strumpets.
Yeah, and I reject the idea that it would be gone about by simping. Like, if I were to hypothesize any way I could imagine, if you're saying how would Jesus respond to this, he would be telling somebody the same thing he's told other people, where it's like, no, wait, go find a better way to do this.
Yeah.
It's no different than saying, like, go and sin no more. He would be telling someone else, hey, what you're doing like this, it's not, it's not ideal. It's not optimal. Do something better.
So Arthur Dye is just having a great time. She's super triggered. That's okay. Arthur Dye would make a great Karen if she leaned on the other side of the aisle. She'd be the best Karen. she would literally be out there telling you that you parked way too close to the curb, and that you should not drive a red car because red is the color of the devil, and you should not drive that. But anyway, apparently church tradition on modesty doesn't matter. You have to have a specific verse about thou shalt not wear a thong. Actually, that's pretty correct. There is nothing in the Bible that says that you should dress modestly. Although there is, I believe, and I'm going to use my southern preacher voice here. I do believe that, and I'll have to look up the exact verse. But I do believe that there are actually verses that pertain to, how you should conduct yourself in public. I'll have to look it up, though. I don't know. I am not a theologist. I just debate them on the internet. I argue with the internet.
Yeah, and it's even like even with like when you're talking about like the redemption and everything, like I know I saw ZT Den mention in the chat about something about people changing. It's like I don't even think everybody necessarily needs to change. Like somebody can dress in a way you don't like. Somebody may look a way you don't like, but it doesn't mean they are a bad person. Like they need to. You may want them to change something you personally don't like about them, but it's not something that makes them a bad person overall.
So, Arthur Daya, so would I have a problem with you coming up on stream in a bikini? Well, I would, because I'm a married man, and I'm pure as driven snow. So, fortunately, I would have a problem with you coming up in a bikini. Lead thou not into temptation, and I'm fairly certain that you are a female, and therefore would be temptation. I could be wrong, but I don't think so. But then again, Anson Knowles may enjoy that. That's. And Anson says, if Arthur Daya comes up and dances on stream in bikini, I'm going to explode with Coomer thoughts. Yeah, that's true. That's
see right there. The markets on the internet are vast. Everything can have an audience, Grid. There's an Arthur Daya in a bikini audience out there somewhere, even if it's Anson's audience.
Well, listen, I personally do not. That Jody is lit. That's funny. Why is this? Oh, I see what happened. That's pretty funny. Wally, that sweater is hideous. He's kidding. It's funny. I guess the real question is, as Smoking Spaceman says, would Anson throw money at the screen? I hope not. I hope he puts it on his credit card and does the responsible thing and sends it to me. Would that then be degenerate? Probably. I don't know. We have to, this is really great things.
Grid, I'm starting to get tempted that part of the extra bonus show we're going to do on Monday afternoon, I'm starting to get tempted that I might actually open up the panel for a bit and see.
There you go. Yeah, I don't pay taxes on cash unless it goes in a bank somewhere. I don't. I collected X number of dollars today, cash money. Not going to be written down nowhere. No how. No sir. Tax evasion, I don't know if that's a sin. I don't know about that.
By the way,
we didn't say that you can be a hoe, Arthur Dye. We asked if the question would be is that if you had a hoe phase, let's say that you just had a what the fuck do they call them? Hot girl summer? What the fuck do they call that shit? I don't know. Whatever the frat girls are calling it these days. You just had a period in your life where maybe you just weren't Wally, it just weren't pure as a driven snow.
Yeah.
And then
Wally had a teenager out of wedlock too, you know.
I did not know that, actually.
Yeah, I got a 15-year-old out of wedlock. I've never been married. You know, Wally did a lot of shit people would say he shouldn't, but Wally doesn't care. Mikey's saying right there, Grid, that he's still in his hoe phase.
He's still in his hoe phase, yeah. We've talked. He's something of a degenerate still, but still a good dude though.
Really, but really, Grid, Mikey is showing us just how powerful redemption can be. He may still be in his hoe phase, but he's gotten himself 50% out of his toe phase.
Toe phase, there you go, 50% out. $5 from Anson Knowles. Just send Arthur Dye. This is for you. Just send me a DM with your bikini dance. These Neanderthals don't appreciate a natural beauty like you. That is that's sweet.
I wanted to make the joke when you brought up Kat's headshot that I was going to say. See, this is why I ask for the body shots up front.
And she didn't have a hoe phase because Anson wasn't. She didn't have Anson around while she was in college. Anson was married probably at that time. Yeah. ZD Den, Anson Knowles, just give Arthur Dye the $5. She's owned it. I think she means owed it. Dealing with all you degens. I'm trying not to be particularly degenerate. I just like to trigger some people because I can. Also, I find it very interesting that people can't argue both sides of the argument. I just don't understand that. That's probably why I don't get the echo chamber thing very much. Patriarchy. That's why. Patriarchy. When they talk about the man, I am the man. I'm having a great time. The promoter always gets a oh, yes. The promoter always gets. What's funny is that somebody keeps changing my name to legitimate fight promoter over on
me.
DK.
That's me.
Is that you? Oh.
That's always me.
That's funny as shit.
That's why when I booked one that week and I made it a tag team, I'm like, I had to borrow Grid's promoter's license for this super chat, but here we go.
That's funny.
I was junior fight promoter that night. I booked the undercard.
Actually, Anson, that's a great argument. Actually, I mean, that's Anson says he's not being a degen. He just likes well-educated, chaste, ginger doctors. Arthur Dye is the perfect woman. That's damn near sweet. To be honest,
we might have a moment there. Almost.
Yeah. No, you got kicked out of a Dillahunty chat yesterday, Mr. Well, that's I feel like that's probably pretty easy to do.
See, I had a funny plan for tonight before Verbal Combat got canceled, Grid, is I was going to wait for Teriak to show up, and I was just going to pay for the 1v1 and say, me versus Teriak, brother, we got to talk.
There you go. And then pay the $10 to pick the topic or whatever.
No, I'd just be bringing the topic saying, yeah, we're going to discuss his thoughts about working with women.
Arthur Dye gets an allowance after the dishes are done. That's fun. People can't argue both sides because they've never thought about the opposite side's view. Yeah, that's a problem. It's really hard to argue effectively a debate if you don't understand the opposite side. Now my problem is that often understanding the opposite side pisses me right the fuck off, and that's my problem. I gotta get my anger management slips up sometime.
Yeah, I think that's the problem I have with like researching the opposition is like I hate their argument so much. I'm mad just reading it, and I just want to argue about it.
That's me. And it's not. I mean, I'm not saying that I'm like super awesome, amazing dude at any of this, but I hold my own pretty good, to be honest, with a lot of the arguments. But man, I tell you, sometimes, yeah, like I can't with a straight face argue the Furby side of the argument ever. So,
yeah.
It's 10 till time. It's 10 till shutdown time. Wally, it's been a great show.
Yes.
Really appreciate you coming on. Arthur Dye, I really appreciate you, you and all of your spicy, red-headed ginger, whatever stuff. And just to prove there's no hard feelings, I got a little special something. Let me find it here real quick. I got a little special thing. It was great having Eugene on. Eugene, he's not used to being on, but I like to put, he needs a what do they call it? He's got to push the envelope a little bit. You know what I mean? He's got to get out there. So, this is. I'm going to put this. I'm going to put this up on my screen for just 1 second for Arthur Daya and Anson. So just want to throw this out there, and I'll read it just in case you can't see it on your tiny little screens. It says, you're not the first, but do you really care? Just, just saying.
Look at your grid, being the Mr. Matchmaker over here.
Well, it's a redhead. It's the only one I've got of a redhead. And again, Aston Martin. That was an Aston Martin thing. You're not the first. Do you really care?
I mean, that's like asking somebody, if I handed you a single dollar bill that was actually, like, say it was a $1 billion bill, would you really care how many other people have, like, put that bill in their pocket before you?
I do. I mean, I gotta be honest. All right. So from my personal perspective, not arguing a point, my personal perspective is that while I believe that it is somewhat different for men, I don't go along with the red pill rhetoric that it's all that all men men can do whatever they want, blah blah blah, bullshit. I don't buy into that. I think that's
yeah, I don't go that far. Like I think
that's a bigger cope than anything most women can put out, to be honest with you. I don't go along with that.
No, I don't. I think you should, like, I think no matter what, I think even if you don't even come from a religion where it's like that's part of your understanding, I think striving to have a relationship where you do have oneness with a person, whether you're married to them or not, should be what you're striving for. That's why I think the premarital sex issue is more of a cope for just not picking the right person, because you're not striving to have that sense of a oneness in that relationship, and then you end up in bad relationships that way.
Yeah. And I just, it's an interesting thing to me, and it's probably only interesting to me too. Like I'm not saying, like again, I just find it interesting. I always find it interesting how, for lack of a better word, how butthurt people get because women have preferences. But from my personal point of view is the lower the body count, the better. I think that I personally think that men and women should not sleep together before they're like really, really sure. If at all possible. I understand it that, things happen. We live in a modern world, blah, 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 all this shit. That doesn't make it right to me.
Yeah, because it's like I know with the way
I think Arthur Diet passed out on that last one. There's like that or my chat broke. So because there's no updates, man.
It's because it's like I know like when you start seeing a lot of this like Puritanism making a comeback, like this is the stuff.
Yeah, I don't like the. I really don't like it because to me it's that you actually hate women. What it comes across as is not as that you want women to be better people, but that you hate women. I want women to be better. I want women to be better people. I want women to be feminine again. I want them to be selective again. I want them to be all of that. Would young Grid heed the advice of older Grid? Probably not. I was an idiot.
Yeah, young me wouldn't have listened to me neither.
So I only think body count matters based on scientific data. No, I don't believe that. I think that you do damage to yourself mentally and emotionally and spiritually. I think women especially do. I think I really feel like that's part of what's wrong with the vast majority of young women today is that they are really thinking like, they're really thinking more like men. Does that make sense? Right? Like the sex without consequence, like for men, for whatever reason, men have believed that for a long time. I don't agree with it. I think there's always consequence to sex, but and you shouldn't have sex at all if you're not willing to you're not willing to live with the consequences of that sex.
Well, because there seemed to be this attitude amongst a lot of feminists in the 90s that there was a double standard that didn't really exist. Because I used to hear this back when I was in school, is that you would hear these girls ask us like, well, why is it that a guy can sleep with 100 women and it's okay, but if a girl does that...
Yeah, I've never thought it was okay. I've never thought
that's what I'm saying. I'm like, I don't know where this audience is that's saying it's okay. It never exists. Like this audience of men that was giving every man a free pass didn't exist.
We'll talk about that for sure on Wednesday. My real concern, though, beyond my personal beliefs, have nothing to do with the conversation that we're going to have, right?
Yeah.
But what I want to achieve, the real aim is to make people realize that there is a growing number of men out in the world today that, and I'll pick on Are We Not Men, right? Like, Are We Not Men? There's no room in his worldview for women that are not pure as a driven snow. If you've had sex at all because you had a hot girl summer or you fucked up, you bought into the bullshit, you're not worthy of even being considered as wife material. And I think that's wrong. Now, am I saying that I personally would want a woman with 30 bodies on her? Well, first of all, how the fuck would you know? Number one. Second, because women lie. Rule number one, women lie. Second, I couldn't do it.
Well, there's worldviews and then there's preferences. The two don't always align, especially when a lot of times when people do not have that many people available.
We're going to have to debate this. I think we're going to have to debate. $5 comes in from Anson Knowles. Body County, I believe that's in Kentucky, is correlation, not causation. It's an indicator of how well a woman controls her urges. That's absolutely true. Women without impulse control are trouble. Fuck yes. Anson Knowles with the dunk at the buzzer. My man. That's actually true. That is closer in alignment to my point of view than anything else. Now, religiously, I believe that it's wrong. But if I take the biblical reasons out of it, right? Like if I just say that that I'm not applying my Christian standards to this woman's actions, it falls down because of exactly what Anson's saying. It's a past performance is a predictor of future results. And if not that once a whore, always a whore is a thing, but I got to see pretty convincing evidence. But at the same time, like I say all the time, I have a buddy of mine. He married his wife based on a wet T-shirt contest. She was showing her boobs to fucking everybody, right? But he ended up marrying her. They have 2 kids. They've had a great life together. He tries to act like he's an atheist, but he's not. It's all bullshit. $10 comes in from Silvar Ogre. TTS didn't trigger. That's weird. I'm telling you, there's something going on. I like some lag or some shit. One more for the road. Thank you, sir. I really appreciate that.
I think you got a point there, Grid. I think if anybody walked up to Brock Lesnar and asked him, "Hey, has it affected your marriage over the past couple decades that your wife took her top off at WrestleMania once?" He'd say no. I don't think he'd say yes. It does.
Yeah, but I think if you were to ask him, would you prefer that she had not done that? He would say, yeah. He would say, absolutely. I really don't like the fact that everyone on the fucking planet has seen my wife's boobs.
Yeah, that's why it's like there's a mix of like being of preferences, and then like, well, realistically, does it make a huge difference in the long run to their relationship? Probably not.
Arthur Daya, if you reliably showed up to the show, I would consider that. Like, I'm being a dick tonight. I really am. I'm being a dick. That's okay. I'm tired. I'm aggravated. But that's why he liked her, maybe. So and look, let's just be honest. I hear a lot of dumbass motherfucking men out there that'll say some bullshit like, and this is horse shit. They'll say, I'm not attracted to that woman that took her boobs out. The fuck you aren't. Get out of here. Now, it may, on some level, repulse you. There may be a revulsion to that act, but like I would have. Like, I would be like, But that's now. When I was 22, well, no, I'm going to lie. That's a lie. When I was 22, if I didn't date chicks that threw their boobies out at parties, I'll be honest, I just didn't do that. I tried to date a stripper once, and it just didn't. I mean, I couldn't do it. Couldn't mentally get there. Yeah, I couldn't do it. But I know that most men are not like me, and I know that most men, even if they knew that her boobies had been out for everyone to see, they wouldn't care. They wouldn't care. They would have the attraction. Now, whether or not they could move forward into a relationship, that's a different subject. Now you have a bunch of men lying their balls off saying that they would not have a relationship or not enter into a relationship with that woman, which is a bald-faced fucking lie, because we know by the divorce rates that you do indeed, men are indeed marrying these dumbass fucking women over and over again for some reason. I don't know. We know that because they fucking keep getting divorced, right? $5 from Anson Knowles. Arthur Daya taking me to church. She gonna tug the coomer out of me. Tug? Coomer? Young man, you need to have a talk. Figured, a married man by now would know where that leads. We're going to get into all of this on Wednesday night. You fuckers need to be there. Wally, give us your outro, brother.
All right. You can catch me over on my YouTube channel. Thank you very much, Grid, and the wonderful mods for sharing that around. We're going to be doing the Wicked Eternal Wednesdays at 5:30 p.m. Eastern. And we have a topic this week. We're going to be discussing our top grievances that just annoy the fuck out of us about YouTube in general. And depending on how that goes, if people have grievances they want to share, we might open it up a little bit for people to come up and discuss those. Monday, we got a different one. We're going to be doing a bonus show, just kind of reacting to some funny shit I've found that I've been collecting a little bit. So people more than welcome to join us and just chill, hang out, have fun. We're just doing it to have a fun stream, and we hope people who come by enjoy it. Grid, it's a pleasure. Chat, always a pleasure. Chat always wins.
Absolutely. The chat does tend to win. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been an excellent show tonight. I really appreciate everybody joining me. I've actually I've been a little bit under the weather, but not too much. It's been awesome having everybody participate, especially Arthur Daya. Glad to have some zest, some spice out in the chat tonight. It's been nothing but W's all night. Love you all, except Flow State. I'm kidding. I don't love any of you. You guys get out of here. Go hang out with Andrew Wilson and do some TikTok or whatever fucking invasions. And yeah, just get out of here. Get off my